Welcome to 2016, man.
It's the future.
Happy New Year. Feliz Navidad, Prosperos Años, and Felicidad.
Like you said, dude.
Some of that. That's for our Telemundo watchers, man.
You had good high school Spanish.
Thank you very much. I heard a song or two. Welcome to 2016. As you can tell, we wear the same shit in 2016
Pretty much.
that we wore in the last days of 2015.
I know, they're lived in.
Yeah. But that's okay. Not every year starts a new adventure, kids. Sometimes the years just run into one another, and
because
a lot of banal sameness.
We're going to look back on the year that was, and so it made sense to wear the same clothes we were wearing the last year we saw you.
Hire this man to write a Buffy-like TV show, ladies and gentlemen. He's so fucking smart. Fuck Buffy-like. Why am I saying that? People are like, update your reference. Hire this man to write a Daredevil type TV show or a Flash type TV show.
Either one. I'm not going to say that I have any favorites.
You see everything. Okay, so we're going to go over our favorite movies of 2015. So, disclaimer. That doesn't mean these are the best movies of 2015.
No.
This means, at least on my list, I can't speak for Mark, but I'm sure Mark will probably back this up. These are the movies of all the movies I saw in 2015.
Which were a lot.
Well, actually, when I looked at it, not much.
Really?
Like, it's crazy. When I went through the list of like shit that I saw this year, because I entered movies 2015, and on the Wikipedia page, they gave me a full list of like all the movies that came out this year. So I went through every month, and like if I saw the movie, I wrote it down. Then I broke that list down into these are my favorites list and stuff. And you know, I didn't see a whole fuck ton.
Well, you were in maker mode.
A little bit of maker mode, but it's, I'm not going to say like it wasn't a great year for movies because there was a lot of wonderful movies, but there wasn't a lot calling out to me, I guess is what I'm saying. Maybe I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Old man, but I like the fucking Marvel movies, so it's like, you know.
There's some stuff there in the middle of the year that I know, like early summer, that I missed, that I wanted to see but didn't. Like I really wanted to see Spy and missed it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I like Spy. Spy was not on my top 10 list, but I saw it and enjoyed it. Paul Feig, is that his name?
Feig.
Feig?
I think. Maybe. We'll say it.
Kevin Feige, Paul Feig?
Those two guys.
Good director.
I know.
Knows how to do his fucking comedy chops, man. And she's hysterical. Fucking, I'd watch her tell me I'm untalented. Like, and laugh. She's so fucking good. I mean, she's like, don't laugh. I'm being honest. Be like, well,
we'll do another one for you.
Can't help it. You're hysterical, Melissa. She's funny, man. I'll fucking, she's great. But I saw that. It's not on my like top 10 list, but I really enjoyed that movie. I saw that, but not in a theater.
On a plane?
No, like stream on iTunes or something with the wife. So, you know, there's a lot of, like here, when I looked at the list, dude, Ex Machina came out in fucking January.
Yeah.
So since January, and I just finally watched it 2 days ago. Since January, I've been seeing this movie going like, oh my God, I want to see that movie. And I didn't fucking see it until like 2 days ago, and it's been out forever, man. Look at that. This is an incredible flick Alex Garland made, man. It reminded me of, what was that TV show? Like Black Mirror. Did you see Black Mirror, kids? Some of the best TV on TV. A lot of people in England are like, fucking get with the times.
Come on, dude.
It's happened a long time ago.
Must be a live pig.
Yes. Tattoo that on my fucking body or put it on my headstone. Must be live pig.
Tramp stamp?
Yes. Right over my ass crack. Okay, so what we're going to do is look at, of all the movies we did see, movies we liked the most. So that's not fucking going like, if you don't fucking agree with us, you're a dick. Hey, movie watching is very subjective, kids.
Right.
So.
You may be a dick, but it's not because you didn't agree with it.
Ain't gonna be because of this, I'll tell you that.
There's no causality there.
You're a dick if you put a fucking string around kittens' necks and push them down the sewers. You're a dick. I read that once in a fucking book, a vocabulary lesson in school. It scared. I was like, this happens? I think it was in an Upton Sinclair something.
Of course it was.
Where I was like, oh my God, the inhumanity to cats.
The Jungle by Upton Sinclair.
Kind of sad. But in any event, then you're a dick. If you don't agree with our list, or conversely, we don't agree with your list, this is more what I'm getting at, that doesn't make us dicks either.
Again, there's no dicks here.
No, it's just some shit we liked, some shit we saw, some shit we liked, paid for all this shit so we can say what we liked. And we're not going to sit around and be like, this is shit we didn't fucking like. And just because something ain't in the top 10 doesn't mean that we didn't like it.
We did not make a worse list.
No.
Because who needs that?
And I didn't see everything. For example, Hateful Eight is not on this list because I haven't seen it yet. So I can't tell you whether or not. There you go. So
yes,
We're not very good at this.
We'll make a date for the road show.
Yeah, we're
You
going
want
to
to come? Come with us to the road show.
I'm just telling you, I'm seeing Ex Machina 2 days ago. It came out in January. The Hateful Eight, I'll probably get to around Thanksgiving of next year. No, I'm going to watch that soon.
I'm gonna go
I'll
to
make
the theater
time
for
for a Will you? Because the
70 millimeter
big experience.
Baby. Oh, yeah.
Give him a single and fucking preach.
Oh, just huge, long, wide, strong.
Turn it down, and
thick.
it's like Mark's talking about his dick, just going like,
Ooh, so much girth.
It's girth.
Girth is
man.
only a thing you use to measure dicks by, right? Like that's a word they basically invented just to measure dicks.
Girth?
Girth.
Just
Dicks and pipes.
I guess, right? That would have to be. No, nobody says like, oh, what's the girth of that pipe?
Maybe they. I don't know. I don't buy pipes.
Pipes not as big as my dick, which is the proper use of girth, Bill. Construction site talk by Kevin Smith. You can tell it's a guy who's never been near a construction site in his life. Too scared of nails.
Are they working on the house? I don't know.
I think it's coming along. I see some frames.
The doors still work.
All right, so here we go, kids. This is 2015. We'll start from 10. Did you put yours in order?
I did.
Let's go number for number. So you'll do 10, and then I'll do 10.
Right.
Now, we've got a lot of the same movies, but at different positions.
We do.
So if we've waxed eloquently on number 9 for something that's 9 on my list, that's like 3 on yours, we won't then get to 3 and be like, oh my God.
Here we go again.
Yeah, it'll live. And that's that.
You just back
Totally
up.
go back and what we said seconds ago. But I know we'll get a letter going like, I thought it was really lazy that you guys didn't reiterate your points.
Jesus.
All right, so let's go from let's begin with number 10.
All right. What's your number 10?
My number 10. Listen, you show me yours, I'll show you mine.
All right. My number 10 is Kingsman.
What?
The Secret Service.
It's good. That dude, honestly, I forgot that movie came out. It wasn't even on my
February. So you'll get to it by January.
but I saw it. I like that movie quite a bit. Fuck, I might have to reconsider. Remind me at the end of this. Let me see if I drop anything off my list.
What do you think?
I hate to say it. This is kind of shitty, but like, I might have to knock the Peanuts movie off my list. And the little boy inside of me just died 1,000 deaths going like, you used to love us,
So
Kev.
now you start to hear the adult.
I've become that horrible voice. Wah, 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 wah. What's that? You'd rather watch a movie with a lady with fucking knife legs? Wah, 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 wah. I guess that's your prerogative, sir.
She's my little red-haired girl.
Oh my God, I feel so sad. Yeah, I don't know. We'll think about that.
We'll think about it.
But number 10 for you.
Number
is
10,
Kingsman.
yeah. I mean, I didn't expect.
Give him a single. There you go.
I didn't expect much from the Kingsman, despite the fact that I like Matthew Vaughn as a filmmaker. I love Colin Firth. Didn't know that Taron Egerton
Oh my
kid
God, I
at
love
all.
Colin Firth. I love Karen Firth. Colin
She's
Firth's
awesome.
less popular sister.
also
Colin
adorable.
Firth is so Mark Darcy.
Yes.
For all time. And he's such a wonderful actor. And he was really fucking...
He's great because-
he was the fucking thing they sold this movie on. Yes, the knifey feet and the fucking guns and shit, but he was the epitome of cool. Manners maketh the man, and this fucking, almost Steel Avengers, Jonathan Steele type fucking, attack with a bowler and a fucking umbrella and shit.
Yeah,
like that.
he was very John Steed.
Steed, I said Steele. Confused Danielle Steele, writer of tawdry novels. That's tawdry, kids. All right, so
But
keep
no,
going.
I had so much fun with this movie. Like it has
Sam Jackson?
Sam Jackson doing a lisp as a villain.
And having the time of his life, by
Having
the
a
way.
blast.
One of his better performances of the last 5 years.
I love that he will almost do anything. And he's said this. It's like if you let me do something I've never done before, I will say yes to your movie. He made some weird movie in Finland where they just let him be the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Why? They let him be the president. Okay.
It's a good movie, too.
It's not a bad movie. But he's having a blast. Matthew Vaughn is having a blast making this thing. It's like a James Bond movie that is paced.
There's this wonderful, like Westboro Baptist churchy kind
Oh,
of
God. So much fun.
kill sequence where it's just like, look, in a world where, you could pull that off, we were talking about last episode, like, hey, man, if they get this right, they could do martial law. Based on Kingsman alone,
Yes.
you could do martial law. Like the ultraviolence in the movie and how it's played. And also like one of the predicating like third act fucking like, I hope the hero wins, is a girl going, if you do it, like we can have anal.
I'll let you put it in the ass.
Come on, dude. Come on.
Princess of Denmark or something like that.
Do you know what really irritated me about that? The fact that someone else did that in the movie before I fucking did, and I should have done that. Yeah, it was a fun flick, a very lad type flick, as they say.
Totally.
But a fun flick.
Super fun. Like really smart, really just, it had so much just joy to it in a way you don't see lots of movies of that like magnitude.
Mark Millar, correct?
Yes, indeed.
Mark Millar and what's his Matthew Vaughn make a good pair.
Indeed. They get
keep
along well
going,
because
I
he did Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass as well. All right, so that was your number 10. My number 10 was The Big Short.
Ooh.
Which I might, I liked it. Well, here, The Big Short gets on my list because I think Adam McKay is a really good filmmaker, and I didn't realize it until I just watched this movie. Like, of course, you always associate him with like Will Ferrell movies and stuff like that, and they're funny. I mean, that takes fucking talent to pull that shit off. His movies do very well, but this is kind of like, and not like, he's out from behind fucking Will Ferrell and shit like that. I understand he helped with Ant-Man as well, and it looks like he might be helping with Ant-Man too. But as a filmmaker, dude, I was fucking stunned at how talented the man was. The chops he put on display for a movie that, like, I didn't read the book, but come on, man, math, numbers, finance, like
subprime mortgages.
Oh,
how do you make that work?
And fuckers who get rich, like off of the mistakes of the system, like none of that should be interesting to me. It's not in my matrix, but Adam McKay found a way to fucking pull it all together. And when he needed humor, he leaned on it nicely, not overly heavily. Particularly when you had a very complicated concept to explain to the audience, he would be like, here to do that is, and it was like some famous actress or fucking somewhere, Anthony Bourdain or some such shit. Clever, like just kept you dialed in enough for shit that, like, when I was a kid, there's that moment in Trading Places where you're like, I'm laughing, but I don't know what I'm laughing at. Like, why is orange juice funny?
Yeah,
like,
explain to me how buying orange futures will affect
that movie always made me feel dumb as a kid, where I was like, I'm just gonna laugh because it's Eddie Murphy. Ha ha ha! But I didn't know what's going on.
Forbes literally had to do an explainer to explain how the end of that movie works.
It's so good. So
because it's like, what's happening? They're buying low and selling high, and they're buying what?
Yeah.
What?
They won, but how? How did they win? I'm happy they won, but did they win? I don't know.
It is absolutely the manifest of, by that point in the movie, if you're not invested in those two guys, then it doesn't.
Why won't Jan Landis tell me what happened? That's how I felt at the end of that movie.
Right. And then there's the sodomization by a gorilla.
There's that. That makes up for all that bad
Which
math.
is always a good time.
Totally. Like, well, right on. Now we're back on target. Dude's getting fucked by giant gorillas. All right. Big Short, well made, well acted across the boards, man. You got Christian Bale just being as Bailey as possible in terms of, like, he gets lost in the fucking character. Really great performance.
Where's the mortgage?
Yeah. Awesome. He's fucking pretty tremendous in this, man. I gotta give him props. Like, he believes he's this kind of on the spectrum. He even has like a kind of lazy eye. I don't know how they do that in movies. Like, do you think that's an actor thing where you're like, I'm acting with my eye?
I bet you for him it is.
Like, yeah, they're like, we can give you a lens. He's like, what are you, out of your fucking mind?
No.
Mate, get out of my way. And he just does this shit.
Hold on. Give me like 2 weeks and come back with a fucking eye. It's going to be great.
He's pretty fantastic in the movie. Give that dude a nod, man. Like, he's really good. You know who else deserves a nod? The movie's not on my list. Trumbo. Did you see Trumbo?
Not yet.
Good movie, but John Goodman in Trumbo is probably my fucking favorite performance of the year.
Wow, really?
And he has a line about being in the movie business where I was like, stood up and I fucking applauded in the house. It was so good. But anyway, jumping back. Performances in this movie and Big Short, wonderful. Not just Christian Bale, Ryan Gosling, who always gives, I mean, look, some women like him. It's like, he's adorable. This fucking kid's a genius actor.
Yeah.
He's like, he's De Niro fucking genius. Like, you watch him, you're like, Jesus, creepy genius. Steve Carell, who is very character-y and does a good job. And who's the fourth dude? It's fucking Brad Pitt. And Brad Pitt is so good in this movie, dude. So underplayed. I'm telling you, Adam McKay is fucking, like, I'm not like, he's arrived. Like, he's been here and he's been doing well for many, many years. But I'm like, it's not even like my esteem jumped. I was like, Jesus, this guy's like my better. I didn't even realize this guy was fucking my better. My esteem did jump hugely. It's not like the subject matter, and that's why it's number 10 on my list. So, like, Kingsman could knock it off just by virtue of the fact that it's a fun, memorable movie and stuff. I don't remember much about the subject of Big Short. Like, I couldn't fucking tell you how it happened and shit. Just like Trading Places, I'm baffled and teary-eyed at the end. But the performances, the filmmaking, put it on my list as a movie to be seen and fucking respected and stuff.
Well, all right.
Is definitely worth your time. But it's a fucking math movie, kids. Holy shit. A lot of numbers and shit.
I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to it.
No, here. If your favorite number is 69, it is not the numbers movie for you. All right, that was my number 10. What's your number 9?
My number 9, documentary.
Ooh.
I've got a documentary on my list.
I've got one on my list too.
Oh, excellent. Netflix's What Happened, Miss Simone.
I didn't see it. How is that?
It's beautiful. It's heartbreaking. It is. I mean, it's the story of Nina Simone, who was a sort of R&B soul singer in the 60s and 70s, who was famously bipolar.
Oh, really?
Yes. So like she would swing high and swing low. She was abused by her husband. She had alcohol and drug problems, but made the most amazing art. It's one of those stories of like, do you have to be broken to make great things?
Right.
Because this woman was fundamentally shattered by both life and by circumstance and by where she ended up in her life. And one of the voices in this documentary is her daughter, who grew up with this, who grew up with her mother swinging between like suicide and ecstasy, and watching her sort of retell living with that. It's heartbreaking. It's all heartbreaking, but the music is so great.
I'm in, dude.
It's so great. I think Liz Garbus directed
And that's
it.
what you want in a documentary. You know, you want to watch something that takes you deep inside the soul of somebody else or inside the life of somebody else, where you can get emotional because we see ourselves reflected in whatever we're watching and stuff. But then allows you a get out point as well. That's why I think we dig those depressing documentaries or documentaries about the real. Because a lot of people deal with that. A lot of people like depressing. Dude, it's my fucking life. Like I am like her, blah, blah, blah. Or I have to live with somebody who's like that. But well made, who made it, do you know?
Liz Garbus is the director. And it's also about this woman, this black woman in the 60s who was not conventionally attractive in any way. So you've got like the Supremes in one corner and then Nina Simone over here, and even like Aretha Franklin over there. But trying to build a career when she wanted to write songs about civil rights. She wanted to write songs about what it's like being black and ugly at a time when people are A, trying to say that black is beautiful, but she's not, and B, people are fighting for civil rights. People are dying in the street. And the sort of wars that she had with like record labels and to a certain degree even with her audience of this is my art, and my art has to be who I am. And right now, I'm a black woman in 1965 who cannot go to certain parts of the country. I've got to flee to Paris in the way that artists always have of color for, a century too. I'm going to find myself in Paris. Like jazz became popular in Paris before it became popular here because they were cool. They're libertines. It's all fine. But yeah, dude, it's so deep and it's so heartbreaking about music that I knew but didn't know very much about who was making it.
Well, my number 9 is going to seem real shitty by comparison. I like the Peanuts movie quite a bit, Mark. It's a story of a boy and his dog, and he's an underdog, and his dog is better than him, and he's bald. No, I love it. It's a sentimental favorite for me. I can't be nearly as eloquent about the Peanuts movie as you just were about. Now I want to see that talk in a big bad way, and I got a screener at home, so I'm totally watching it. It's on Netflix?
It's on the Netflix too.
You can watch it for fucking free for nothing, kids, if you've got Netflix.
Right, if you're
which
already
costs
paying
money.
$12 a month.
Is that what it is now? Fuck. It's worth every penny. So I love the Peanuts movie by virtue of the fact that, boy, you want to talk about true to the source material. We're all going nuts over Force Awakens because it's Star Wars and because it's very close to the source material. This Peanuts movie, man, it's like Charles Schultz made it. It's so close to the source material. Apparently, he said in his will before he died, he's like, you can't create any new stuff without me. So this was based on like an old idea that he'd had and stuff, but they ain't got any more. So this was it. And boy, for their maybe only at bat. I mean, I guess they can kind of do other like.
They should just remake Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown.
What a great idea! I fucking love that movie. Or better than that, fucking Snoopy Come Home.
Oh God,
because that's got
all
the fucking feels,
tears.
man. Do you remember
don't
little
do
sick girls in hospitals?
Oh God damn it!
That movie, there's no way in a world where Marley and Me made money. Snoopy Come Home in this style would make $1 billion. Dogs, dying children. This is the hallmarks of great cinema. Box office. I enjoyed the movie like crazy because I was a big Snoopy fan when I was a kid. Huge Snoopy fan. And they were true to the characters. Ain't no cell phone in this Peanuts movie. Ain't no iPad in this Peanuts movie right now. Where it's like, well, then why would I possibly watch this?
What's the point? Can I watch it on my iPad? No.
And I realize I'm not selling it well by saying that it's cut all ties with the modern world.
They churn butter in this movie.
When your school bell rings, kid, as a mom pulls a cord and the kids all run into one room and watch the Peanuts
There's
movie.
a cotton gin in this movie.
This movie's endorsed by Eli Whitney himself. Cotton gin. Upton Sinclair's The Peanuts. I saw a bald boy, with a dog with a rope around his neck, and he knocked him down the sewer.
The working conditions in this town are miserable.
I saw him turn to his father and say, "Father, why?" And his father said, "Wah, wah, wah, wah." So the Peanuts, kids. That's the movie you got to check out. It's a piece of history. What do you got as number 8?
My number 8 is that Star Wars movie.
Oh, right on, man. Star Wars
Right
makes your
on.
list comes in at number 8.
It comes in at number 8.
We put the image up in case people are like, "Hey, what's this Star Wars you guys are talking about?"
I've never seen. No, I mean, listen, and we talked at length about Star Wars more than once.
Oh yeah,
So,
and probably will for the next year.
Yeah, but you know our feels on it. And my vote is simply because of the feels that I have for it, for the charge in my spine.
Yeah.
When
You're
my-
not sitting there going like, "This guy fucking reinvented cinematic storytelling."
No,
You're
like
saying this guy made a fun fucking movie.
Yeah, and if you choose to find problems with Star Wars, you can. Like, they're there.
Yeah.
But, for my money, and there is no better moment for me this year, no better movie moment when that lightsaber flies through the air.
Into Ray's hand.
I'll
I'll beat you. I got you beat.
You got me beat on that?
One moment better than that.
You think so?
When Chewie fucking whips out the laser crossbow and spoilers, gut shoots Kylo Ren. I hope when I die, and hopefully I'm still in this business, and they put me up, maybe that's the only time I'll ever get to the Oscars. Like, hey, you finally fucking died. People stand up and clap and shit. When they show, it's supposed to be like me as Silent Bob or some fucking thing I did in movies. I'm going to request they don't show that. Just show that scene in The Force Awakens. Just show that moment where he's like, Kevin Smith, and just fucking shoots Kylo. So everybody just associates good feelings of vengeance with me as I pass. Oh, it's my favorite moment in movies. Fuck, I saw it again for the third time the other night. And I yelled out loud in the theater. I was like, "Yes, bitch! Fuck him!" Like, that's what would happen, dude. Like, as a writer, if you always want to, take your material to a place where people like identify with, you always got to ask yourself the question: what would really happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would really happen? Don't just fucking make up shit like the fucking Russian mobs. What would really happen? That's what would really happen. If if a big space dog's friend got killed and they were friends for like 40 years and shit like that, he would scream and he would try to fucking kill the dude's son, who was the one who tried to kill him. He don't give a fuck. I don't
care.
He's like, "I always hated him." He didn't give a shit that he stabbed Han. He was just like, "I hate this emo piece of shit." Oh, fuck it. Again,
Spoilers. But yes, there were enough moments that made me feel like I was 9 years old again. That's why it still makes my list.
Nice. Very nice. Mine also stars Oscar Isaacs and the guy who played General Hux.
Domhnall Gleeson.
Yes, is that his name?
That is his name.
Ex Machina, which I just finally saw. Came out in January. We talked about it before. Man, good fucking flick.
Really smart.
Incredibly well done. Very low budget from what I understand. It's like basically a two-hander, sometimes a three-hander. But Oscar Isaacs, dude, is my favorite actor of the year. Like, he's wonderful in The Force Awakens, and he's wonderful in this movie. He's fucking fantastic in Ex Machina. He's the star, and that's saying something because the girl who plays Ava, whose name I don't know,
Alicia Vikander.
well done, is like a giant walking, talking special effect because she's the robot lady you see in the posters. Wonderful performance. But I believe that guy exists. Oscar Isaac's scientist character is more real than real.
Right.
And he don't play it like, I'm a scientist. He's fucking dude who happens to be brilliant. He's like Good Will Hunting.
It's the Jeff Bezos. It's the Elon Musks. It's the
very approachable. It's
I just
so
happen
good.
to be brilliant.
Yes.
And I just love dancing in onesies.
And the whole movie, you sit there going like, am I being played? Is he being played? It's about a kid who gets brought up to a billionaire's estate to test an AI robot. And they talk about the Turing test, I guess, which is Alan Turing.
Yeah.
Who was in the movie Cumberbatch movie last year. Without him, we don't win the.
The Imitation Game.
The war is not won. I'm going to say we don't win the war. Right. The Brits don't win.
We don't crack the cipher, the Enigma machine. And
as we learned from movies,
Indeed.
And maybe a little bit of history, this Alan Turing guy, he was very smart. So there's a Turing test, which I guess that's what you test a computer with to tell if it's artificial intelligence or not, or whatever.
And then comes the Voight-Kampff test.
Later on, where it's just like you see a turtle. What do you do? Turtle?
Upside down on the road.
My mother? Turtle? What? Shoot a motherfucker. The moment they start asking me about turtles and mothers, pull my laser crossbow. This kid goes to test this AI, this robot, if you will, and interesting things start happening. There's shades of many pieces of classic sci-fi. It's not an homage movie where it's like, oh, he took that. But, there's elements, great sci-fi.
I mean, once you're dealing with robots,
elements. Yes.
there's enough of like the sort of Isaac Asimov, the 3 laws of robotics and all of that stuff that automatically just sort of...
Or you're going to be like, hey, Blade Runner for a minute, and then be like, oh, no, not Blade Runner. Like, it's smart. Well, movie's way smarter than that. Right. So I put that at number 8. Most people have seen it by now. If you haven't, check it out, man.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 7.
Number 7.
I got me some Steve Jobs.
Right on.
I do.
Represented on your list.
Listen, I am such a in the bag Aaron Sorkin fanboy.
You go with all the shows. You like Sports Night.
I like Sports Night. I love The West Wing. The West Wing is my fucking jam.
Really?
I have now seen The West Wing, soup to nuts, beginning to end, 4 times.
And every election, you're just like, why isn't Bartlett president? We need a Bartlett.
The other day on Twitter, I spent a good hour just concocting a West Wing reunion special that'll never happen, but that I want to have.
Made you happy though, didn't it?
Oh God, dude, you have no idea.
Dream, dude, it can happen. Steve Jobs didn't do that well, so maybe Aaron Sorkin's like, that sounds like a good idea.
I need some money, please.
Yeah. Something fast. What is going to make it some loot fast? Like, West Wing reunion? There's a guy on Twitter who seems to want it.
There's one guy. He's
got quite an outline for it. So I saw Steve Jobs and I enjoyed it, but it didn't make my top 10 list. It's something of a magic trick of a movie in as much as it's a play.
It absolutely is just a play. Like it's
and I'm not saying that to diminish it. I enjoy it, but it's not.
No, it's not dramatic in the way that we want things to be dramatic. Like,
in a movie. But if you like dialogue, it's porn.
Oh God, dude, it's beautiful stuff, and it's set around these 3 separate product launches, and so basically it's a chamber drama.
Yeah.
Where it's Steve Jobs and his assorted sort of Apple support staff and his, I guess, ex-girlfriend and his daughter all there before the launch of the original Macintosh, the Next in like 1993, and then the iMac in 1996 or 7 or something like that. But it's all this behind-the-scenes drama of how this guy, why this guy wanted, found himself poised to redefine technology as we know it, and how technology in his head could affect society and make our lives better. But he's a fundamentally broken man. Like there's a line where he just says, I'm poorly made. And he realizes that. And so it charts both his mania as well as his relationship with his daughter and how getting to admit to parentage, getting to admit to the joys that eventually would come with fatherhood is where he begins to kind of crawl out of the sort of self-involved mania that had defined his life for so long. And it is, Fassbender's great. Kate Winslet, who plays his...
4 amazing performances.
Yeah.
Even fucking Rogen's really great.
Rogen's great in that movie. The guy who plays... I can't even remember his name because he's just so good.
Wozniak.
Rogen plays Wozniak. There's another guy who plays another...
that dude. Yeah, he was really great, too.
He was really good.
They should give him a poster. He was amazing.
And the young woman who played his daughter was Bibi in Kill Bill.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Good poll, dude. I was looking at that movie because I watched it in a theater. I paid to see that in a theater. And then I watched the Oscar screener with my wife. And I remember watching that scene going, she looks familiar. And I went to fall down the rabbit hole of like, who is she on IMDb? And I didn't do it. But now that you say it, instantly I'm like, oh my God, you're right. Yeah. I saw her. She did an audition tape for Jersey Girl back in the day.
Really?
Well. Her father was quite a shooter too. He shot it. He shot this scene with the kid where she's having like a dialogue scene with Ben Affleck, his character. And like he shot it in such a way where I was like, can he direct this movie? Because he did a really good
She's not
job.
that good yet, but this is really well done.
Yeah, I was like, she's not ready. She's too young, but her father's a hell of a shooter.
Yeah.
Wow, good pull.
But like as a writer and as somebody who kind of loves structure, to watch somebody break so much of those rules of drama, but still make you care, and still, because it's all about the Sorkin words, and it's all about like the speed and the pace, and the weird thing where he'll set up an idea and then diverge from it for a while, and then circle back around and just pin that idea in the ass to him, and yeah, I'm gonna start to cry again.
You dig that?
I dig that, man. I am.
Well, look, he's way more successful than I have ever been or will ever be, but he and I get accused of the same thing, which is all of our characters sound exactly like us. That's the thing. I watched Steve Jobs and I was just like, wow, this is like watching not so much Steve Jobs as it is watching Aaron Sorkin. Because every character sounds like Aaron Sorkin, which is fine by me because I like the writing of Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah. I mean, I watched like all of Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which is a shitty television show.
But you'll dig it.
But, like every now and again, there will be a thing in it where I'm like, God damn it, Aaron Sorkin, I love you. You miserable bastard. I love you to death.
All right, that was your 7?
That was my 7.
My 7 was The Gift.
Tell me about The Gift.
Gift is a good movie directed by Joel Edgerton, who's actually in the movie, and I think he wrote it too. So this is, you know who Joel Edgerton is?
I do, yes.
Uncle Owen from the prequels. That's who Joel Edgerton is. Now he directed a movie better than anything I've ever fucking made. This is crazy, man.
The edge.
Yeah, he's got the Edgerton, if you will. It's a real like Twilight Zone-y kind of affair in terms of like, what you do comes back to haunt you. That's not really Twilight Zone at all. I'm not describing. I'm not nearly as eloquent as Mark. Man, you fucking. Now I don't even want to finish the show. I just want to go watch that documentary. The Gift is really fucking good, dude. He did a great job writing, great job directing. Jason Bateman, who I fucking ran into at the movie theater yesterday when I went to see Force Awakens, man. I turned around and I saw him, and like I'd seen that dude. He's like my most awkward celebrity sighting in my life, because generally, like you see a lot of famous people in this town, but I'd never like interact with them that much. But I was at a Baja Fresh, and he was at a Baja Fresh eating by himself, and I was like, oh man, like I don't want to be that guy, but like I love him going back to Silver Spoons, bitch. And fucking the show that he had after that, the two of us, whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, right.
And so I was a fan going way back. And then Arrested Development, massive fucking fan of Michael Bluth. So I was like, do I do it? Do I do it? And I was like, fucking all right. And I went over and I was like, hey man, I hate to do it. I give the same fucking line that people give to me, like, hey man, I hate to do this, but like, I'm a huge fan. And he was he was like, oh, thanks, man. And I don't know if he was just like, hey, you're that guy. He just kind of looked at me. He was like, thanks. Went back to his meal. Nice fucking dude. Years later, man, like the other night, I went to see The Force Awakens, and I turned around and I saw him again, and I was like, hey, man. I just went, hey. And he looked at me and went, hey. And I don't know, again, if he was just like.
They'd lift up from the burrito again.
Yeah, it's just.
Every time you see him, he's
right back in. It's just like, God, it's you. Get away from my burrito. But I don't know if he knows who the fuck I am, other than, oh, that's that guy that's designing me all the time. And he seems very enthusiastic to see me. I do. I'm so receptive when I see that guy. I'm like, he's talented.
My weirdest celebrity encounter?
Yeah.
I was in an elevator at Comic-Con, I want to say like 3 years ago, with my buddy Adam, who's Jewish. I'm only saying because it's pertinent to the story. Not just a thing.
Well, then, Mark, you might be prejudiced because you think of Billy as your Jewish friend and not just your friend.
And we're in this elevator, and Christoph Waltz gets in the elevator.
Nice.
And my friend literally just like tightened up. He's like, I don't know what happened, dude. Like he was there with his daughter, and they're having like the best time ever. My friend was just like sweating. It's starting to like bead from like, don't mind my friend.
It's not like he asked your friend for like a cup of milk or something like that.
But it was just like, I don't know why, but that guy.
That's hysterical.
Makes me fear for my relatives.
What did I just see him? Oh, I watched half of Spectre the other day, and he was in some of it that I saw. I didn't get to all the meaty parts. Did you watch all
I
Spectre?
haven't seen any of Spectre.
Yeah, I saw half. And then something happened, so I was like, I'm gonna go do something else, but I got to finish it and stuff. But I like that he's a thing. He's his own cottage industry now.
The Christoph Waltz of it all.
Seems like a good actor. All right, man. Let's get to 5, and then we'll split it up to
Was
another
that 5
show.
or was that?
But that was 7.
That was 7. So we're doing 6.
So now we're on 6. What do you got?
I got Ant-Man.
Do you?
Yes.
Ant-Man's also on. Is it? No, Ant-Man didn't make my list, and I really liked it.
Ah.
All right, go ahead.
I did not expect much from Ant-Man. Every one of these weird like offbeat movies that Marvel puts out, I instinctively like, well, this will be the one that breaks the streak.
Yeah.
This will be the bad idea that they had. Like at first I thought Guardians was that bad idea. I also thought Ant-Man. I was like, who gives a shit? Ant-Man? Really? And then I saw Ant-Man. And I get it. I get it. Like, it's a smaller movie than the other Marvel movies are. It's not about...
But it's Iron Man.
It's Iron Man, but he's not trying to save the world.
Right.
He's just trying to, like, be a good dad.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, as a person who tries to be a good dad, like, that just hit the sweet spot for me.
Oh,
and it's a heist movie, and I love heist movies.
Peyton Reed?
Yeah.
Wonderful job directing the flick. As everyone on the line knows, Edgar Wright at one point was going to be the director. So he had to step into big shoes of a guy that didn't make the movie, but looms large in the film arts. Peyton Reed, I thought, did a wonderful job. Eminently watchable movie. I've seen this movie. I saw it once in the theaters, but I've seen it now 3 times since then on planes and on home video and stuff. It's so watchable. It should have been on my top 10 list.
And fucking Michael Pena gave one of my favorite performances
You ain't
of the
kidding.
year. Like, that dude was like the MVP of that movie for me.
You ain't kidding, dude. He's tied with me for John Goodman for me in terms of best performance of the year.
Because it so easily could have been like a caricature. It so easily could have been some weird insensitive, we're going to do the like high-pitched Latino guy, that weird gangster light, but so much fucking heart and just such a good time.
And just little touches like, I like the Shiraz. Shit like that was just fucking phenomenal. I wish that was on my list. I should have put it on my list, man. I have Mad Max Fury Road in that spot.
Ooh,
you got Mad Max on your list.
I do indeed.
Don't tell me where. Mad Max Fury Road, man. Come on, fucking. I don't have to pitch for this fucking movie.
God no.
I gotta find a camera. I don't have to pitch for this movie, kids. George Miller, a 70-year-old man. Go look at your grandpa or your mom and see. My mom's 70. I looked at her the other day. I was like, why didn't you make Mad Max Fury Road, Ma? You're 72. Number one, that's a fucking accomplishment in and of itself. Number two, like, to go back to your fucking source material and like do it even better than you did it when you were a young buck. Incredible, man. This is a wonderful fucking flick. Even if you don't give a fuck about the Mad Max universe, and I'll be honest, I wasn't one of those guys. I'm not a crazy like, fucking Mad Max and Road Warrior. Like, they were fine. I saw them, but not. You've seen my movies. You never hear me like referencing those flicks.
It's not a touchstone for you.
Not a big touchstone. Saw them, appreciate them, but not like that was not my jam and stuff. This movie, absolutely my jam. That's how good this movie is. Makes you don't even give a fuck about the other ones, man. You're like, this is it, man. I'm in. It's crazy good. Excellent filmmaking. It's winding up on a bunch of critics groups.
Yeah, like National Board of Review, like best director, best film
is kind of nuts. And reminds me of like a Blade Runner-y kind of affair, and not the movie itself, but it was a movie that didn't do that well at the box office. It did fine, but it didn't do like killer business. But everybody respects it. Everybody fucking loves it and stuff. Seems to be a new high standard in terms of not just making an action movie, but making a well-made thinking person's action movie.
And it's also just like, it is so unique in so many ways that it feels like there's no way this would have been a Warner Brothers movie. Like, it is so just rambunctiously creative in a way that usually gets the edges sand down in the studio system. What do you want to do? Here's what we're going to do. You guys, I swear, giant fucking car, huge speakers, dude with a guitar, flamethrower, suspended to this thing, hard guitar. We can do this, right?
They're like, is that the main character? He's like, no.
He has no lines.
Just see him for a sec.
But that guy, we've got to figure out how to do this.
That guy's our Boba Fett. The moment we put him in a movie, nobody can give a fuck about anything else. They'll just always talk about flaming guitar guy.
And like in the same way that one of the things that we responded to about Star Wars was they built this shit. Yeah. Like they built a Millennium Falcon. They're walking on that sand.
There are dudes on sticks doing 60 through the desert, fucking doing the Cirque du Soleil shit.
Like, it is amazing how much that counts for something. Yeah. Like that guy was there. That guy almost killed himself to do this thing for my enjoyment.
It's crazy. You're right. It makes you appreciate it just a little bit more. Like where you're like, well, I know that's not CG.
Yeah.
So, my God, these crazy
these guys went to
it.
fucking Namibia with 75 cars doing 60 miles an hour, blowing shit up for me.
Give me a single. What the fuck did you do when you went to Namibia? Not what this 70-year-old man did. So I said to my mom too, I was like, you went to Namibia? Why didn't you make Mad Max, Ma? You're 70 and you were in Namibia.
You had a selfie stick. You could have done that.
Wave it like this, balance on it.
Click, 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 click.
All right, all right. So that's our 10 through 6.
That's our 10 through 6.
So if they come back to the next episode, give us a 2-shot. Next episode, you come back, we'll do our top 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. But just to recap before we leave, my number 10 was The Big Short. Your number 10 was?
Kingsman.
Watch them both. My number 9 was the Peanuts movie. Yours was?
What Happened, Miss Simone?
Both valid. My number 8 was Ex Machina. Yours?
Star Wars, Force Awakens.
My number 7, I can't even count backwards, was The Gift. What is yours?
Steve Jobs.
My number 6 was Mad Max Fury Road, and yours was?
Ant-Man.
All so far, worthy list. Anybody who's fucking like, fuck you guys, you ain't seen movies. These were good movies.
Totally.
And we had some classy shit with Marc's documentaries. So don't say it's all like Marvel zombies and shit like that. Yes, we are, but we also like classy things.
Classy shit.
And as a preview, I have a documentary in my top 5.
And I'm less classy.
Marc gets real geeky in his top 5. Last week, we was telling you how much we loves movies. And we watched a bunch of movies, and we went through our list of 10 through 6. Now we're going to go through 5 through 1. There's a lot of math involved in these 2 episodes.
I know. Bad idea, really.
My bad.
Ugh. Less math.
Should be talking about things we love and not
Math.
So let's do that. Let's dive right into it, man. Okay. Mind you, again, we are not filmmakers. Well, one of us is. But as I say that, it stands. We are not filmmakers. A lot of people online have told me that.
One of us does not get paid to make films.
There you go. And the other is Marc Bernard. So take it with a grain of salt, kids. This is the movies we saw that we enjoyed. Don't necessarily, we're not saying fighting words. This is the best movies of the year, fuckers.
No.
These are the movies that we enjoyed and whatnot.
Yes, we are not. There's no worst.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff we didn't like, but they're not the worst movies, and we're not even going to talk about those.
It's like fucking
Why talk about those?
T-ball. Everybody wins a trophy. Everybody gets on base. You know what? Making movies is not like curing cancer, but there's a level of difficulty involved, and it involves many craftspeople, men and women, behind the camera and in front of the camera and whatnot. So to say this is crap, that diminishes the work of so many fine people and whatnot.
Indeed.
Nobody ever tries to make a bad movie except us with Tusk. When I made Tusk, I was really trying to make a bad movie.
Everybody works as hard on a bad movie as they do on a good movie.
Excellent point. So that's why we're not going to sit around and stick it up fucking, holes of people that like, we didn't like your fucking flick and fuck it. Why light a candle? Why curse the darkness when you can light a candle? I was doing the internet for a second.
Why light a candle when I can curse the darkness?
This shit sucks. Turn on a light.
I'm bumping into walls in this room. It's horrible.
Okay, so here we go, man.
Yes.
Our top 5 for 2015.
Wrapping it up.
Get ready. Just to give you a preview. Remember last week on the show or whatever the fuck? Let's do our list real quick. Number 10 was The Big Short.
Kingsman.
Number 9 was the Peanuts movie.
What Happened, Miss Simone?
Number 8 was Ex Machina.
Star Wars, Force Awakens.
Number
7.
See, the math gets me every time. If they pulled me over and they were like, count backwards, I could be stone cold sober and still fucking get arrested because I'm like 8, 6. Where's Marc? Like, who's Marc? Is Marc your little drunk boy that lives in your mouth?
Like, Taylor brings you milk?
No, that's Tony.
Hello.
Yeah, Tony. Marc's not here, officer. Like, we got to arrest this fucker. All right, 7, The Gift.
Steve Jobs.
And number 6, Mad Max, the Furious of Roads.
Ant-Man.
Okay. Nice. Holy shit, that was good. All right, so now, without further ado.
Yes.
Because there was a lot of doo-doo right there. Here's our top 5.
Top 5.
Number 5, you begin.
For me, Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation.
What the fuck? Really?
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to debate you because I saw it and it was watchable, but really?
I like a well-honed thriller.
Yeah.
Like there's a soft spot in my heart for the kind of the machinery, the switch watch engineering that goes with just a really, really, even more than competent, but just
This is
very
more
well done.
Swatch watch than Swiss watch, no?
Well, no, I mean, it's
Oh my God. What a high-pitched defense that was. Here it goes. Go ahead.
well, I'm not sure that it's really no. It's fucking Tom Cruise running, dude. Like, Tom Cruise running is one of the best special effects in Hollywood ever.
It's true. He runs fast.
He runs fast. He runs with intent and purpose.
He runs far, too.
He's lean.
JJ has a very long take in Mission Impossible 3 where Tom Cruise runs for like 10 minutes.
I know. It's literally just like this steady cam shot, just him in China running.
I don't know what's more impressive. Like, because I don't even know if it's steady cam. It's got to be cable cam.
Like a rover.
It's got to be like, because it looks like they might have run a cable, because who can keep up with that guy? Like, he's so fucking like... him on the plane was badass.
Him on the plane is badass.
And you got to give him like props. Come on,
he's like 78 years old.
And Robert Downey Jr. They're like, "Hey, we want you to get up there and fly around." He's like, "Go fuck yourself. I'm gonna sit in a dark room.
Where's my giant helmet?
Yeah, put on my funny helmet. The robot will fly.
There's lights."
Tom Cruise, man, he's just like,
strap my ass to the
plane. Let's do it. He's just like always coked up, ready to go. Not really cokey. I don't want to get a fucking letter from him. But he's on spiritual coke, ladies and gentlemen. The kind that you don't need to blow up your nose. It's just in your soul.
He's on a natural high.
There you go. And we know why.
But,
wow.
Yeah, I kind of love that movie. That's a movie I saw 3 times in a theater.
Really?
Once at a screening, once just fucking by myself, and once with my wife.
This is on the level of you going, I had a 3-way with 2 Playboy bunnies once. Like, what? Like, I'm not saying it's implausible, but you waited till now to reveal that? Like, we've been talking for a while. This is the first moment you're like, I really like Mission Impossible.
I don't know what to do with myself. I can't.
Help me.
My name is Mark, and I really like Mission Impossible movies.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It's well made. What's his name directed it?
Chris McQuarrie.
Come on. And this is the
Oscar
man who
winner.
gave us, the Oscar winner who gave us
Usual Suspects.
But what's his name? Kaiser Soze. Without that guy, ain't no Kaiser Soze.
No, he was
he did what else? He did that other movie. Oh, he did Jack Reacher with Cruise. This I enjoyed more than the Jack Reacher picture.
Yeah, and they're making another one of those too.
I sounded very old. The Jack Reacher picture. Jack Reacher. Put in $1,000.
But yeah, it was a bit of a toss up for me between this and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Did you see The Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
I did not. Did you vouch for it?
I vouch for it, dude. Like, it is. I'm not going to say it's
movie.
great, but it feels a bit like Kingsman with like less awesome.
Yeah.
But really well done, super hyper stylized. Henry Cavill is great. Alicia Vikander is the lady in that one.
So she's also the robot in
yes,
Ex
she's the robot in Ex Machina. But yeah, 2 really good kind of like throwback thrillers to we're just making a really good movie.
Okay, so then which is it? Which gets the slot? Is that
It's Mission Impossible gets the slot.
Mission Impossible, but you're still giving an honorable mention?
I would still give it a little shout out
to the Kingsman?
To Man from U.N.C.L.E.
To Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yes.
That's right. My God, that's 2 surprising movies. Not surprising, like you're an asshole, Mark, but just like I never would have guessed. Gun to my head, they're like, name a fucking weird movie on his list. I'd be like, I don't know, Peanuts.
You're a dick, sir. I never would have thought you to be a dick, but you picked these 2 movies.
Unbelievable. All right,
yeah, that's my 5.
That's fantastic. Good call. Good call. I mean, I'm telling you, him on the plane. I know we all saw it in the trailer. A lot of people are like, I saw that movie. No, you didn't. You just saw the trailer. That fucking movie is pretty fun. They always are.
They always are. And there's an actress in that, Rebecca Ferguson, who I kind of fell in love with in an unfortunate way, I think.
like in something awkward in public where like, you're such a simple lady. Sitting with her in a fucking...
I love you so much. The yellow dress is my favorite yellow dress ever.
It's so hard.
It's so hard. I'm sorry for the restraining orders. Really, I am. I didn't mean any of this.
Really? She's good?
She's great.
All right,
she's great.
You're selling
and
it,
it's a movie where there's a female lead who is not a love interest. It is not about the 2 of them getting together in that movie, Tom Cruise and Rebecca Ferguson.
In Mission Impossible?
In Mission Impossible.
So they don't kiss?
They don't kiss.
And she's young, too.
And she's young, and she's very much his equal, if not more badass than Ethan Hunt.
She's the one, she's a British lady?
Yeah.
She's the one who keeps going, did we meet before?
Yeah.
She is good now.
She's great.
What is she from? What do I know?
I don't know. I've never seen her before.
That's why you fell in love with her.
I
love
totally
at first
did.
sight.
Very much so.
Tell your lady?
A little bit.
Like, tell your kids, break down, be like, look.
Right, when the cops brought me home, what happened? I might have been going through her trash, but it's only because she's an amazing actress.
Daddy loves famous people. It's a problem.
We won't talk about Christina Hendricks at all in this house. It always goes bad.
She was in a movie too when I was looking down a list of like movies that came out in 2015. A movie that A24 put out that I hadn't heard of that had a fucking stellar cast. She was one of the people in it.
What?
And it made I was like, I gotta watch that movie. I mean, I said it last time. I'll say it again. I'm part of the problem. Too much content. out there. Who can sift through all this content, man? It's crazy.
It's bananas. So that's my 5.
My number 5 was Where to Invade Next.
That is a classy choice, my friend.
Thank you very much. You took care of the class last time. I was the ass. This time you are the ass, and I am the class.
You are.
Michael Moore is back, ladies and gentlemen. Some people out there are like, fuck that guy, because they're conservative or whatever. Or they're just like, he's a loudmouth. He's a fat loudmouth, and we're already watching one fat loudmouth on this fucking show.
And I like guns a lot.
I forgot that there's a bunch of those people probably not wanting to watch it for that reason alone. Yeah, it's Michael could be a very divisive figure, but I thought this documentary was wonderfully entertaining, as most of his stuff is, but also like inspired. It's not an America bashing documentary. It's an America reminding documentary. The premise is. Because I remember when I first heard of it, I was like, oh, it's a documentary about the war machine and blah, blah, blah. It's not that. He's like, America was built on conquering, fighting, or kingdoms are built by conquering other cultures and taking from them, blah, 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 oil, whatever. He said, what if I went to other countries and fucking claimed good ideas for America? So he goes to a bunch of countries and deals with topical stuff like the first one is so low key, you're almost like, is this what it's going to be? And each issue gets a little deeper, but it's an important issue. It's about vacation time. And he sits down with 2 Italian people who go over all the paid vacation time, 12 weeks per year of paid vacation time they get. Plus, they talk to mothers who get 8 months paid maternity leave for every kid. Like the amount of time that goes into compensating employees in Italy. Like, he sits down with some company owners, a fashion company, and I think Ducati, the guy who runs Ducati, the motorcycle company. And the idea is like, you don't have to pay your workers' wages when they're on vacation. We don't do that in America. You go on vacation, you're fucked. Why do you do this? And they're just like, well, it's just better. Like, it makes happier employees and everyone's rest. Everybody needs a rest. And we're doing well. The owners say, why shouldn't they do well? And so he goes from country to country and starts like going, and he has a flag. He's like, I claim this idea for America. And, every one of them is a real like simple twist where you're like, you're kidding. Like, we're the last country in the world when it comes to this. Like, one of them was shocking. It was like us and one company, fucking way on the fringes company that didn't pay for college or something like that. Like he goes to one country, Slovenia or something like that, and college is free for everybody. And when the government at one point tried to be like, you know what, never mind, you're going to start paying for college like the rest of the world. The students revolted and ousted their government and put a government in place where they're like, no worries, we got it.
It's all on us.
But the weird thing is you can go to this country as an American and get a full education. Like,
yeah. I remember seeing online there was some list of the best like colleges and universities in the world and what they cost, comparatively speaking. And $2,000 they go to like Oxford or something nuts like that. Or like the Sorbonne is bananas cheap.
There was a guy in the documentary they had who went to UC Boulder, and he's like, I couldn't afford to do it anymore. I couldn't afford the loans. Like I was priced out of my own school. He's going, but I came here and I'm getting a far better education. Class sizes are smaller. Like it's nuts. So the whole movie is him going to foreign countries, taking really good ideas and going, we're claiming it for America. And then spoilers, at the end of the movie, almost every one of the ideas started in America. And you hear it throughout the doc. Like every time he's sitting there talking to somebody, they're like, well, it's an American idea. And he kind of rolls over it, but it's brilliantly put together. By the end of the doc, it's not him going, why can't America be better? He's going like, America created this. And if you've been sitting here watching going, how come we don't have it like that? Like, yes, that is the question. Why did we set the tone and then forget that tone? It's a wonderful piece, very moving, insanely moving, particularly when they talk about, was it Iceland? The first female like president or something like that. And then Reykjavik, Finland had the first. I think Finland had the first female president. Reykjavik had a financial crisis worse than the one in America. All the banks fucking failed, and Iceland was a very small country. There's one bank that didn't fail. It was a bank that was run by women. All the rest of them failed. And so they started asking a question of like, is it smarter to be a woman in the investment community because most guys are just like, I'm betting with my dick and blowing money or creating that housing crisis, market crisis. And in this country, that didn't happen in this one fucking bank. In fact, they prospered and shit. And when they talked to them, they were like, well, you know, you just don't want to be that risky with other people's money. Like sensible shit. Really, really good movie. Very moving. So worth your time. And if you're one of those people, it's like, politics. Not very political at all. This is a documentary about not just hope, but really it's like hope you remember that we are these people. So I enjoyed it. And again, it's not a flag waving in any direction in terms of like, you know, it's not Democratic or Republican. I guess it's more Democratic. He's a fairly liberal guy. But you don't have to be a liberal to enjoy this documentary is what I'm saying. You have to be a human being in America who just wants to see things be a little bit better. And I don't mean be a little bit better by shutting the fucking borders down and getting guns. I mean simple fucking ideas. Simple ideas treat people in a better way that creates a better fucking world. And not even pie in the sky, Tony Robbins, like be positive. Like, dude, why wouldn't you pay somebody for maternity leave? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of crazy. In any event, there it is. That's my number 5. Where to Invade Next by Michael Moore.
Well done.
Thank you.
Now I want to see this movie.
Okay. Number 4, man. We're at number 4.
The Martian.
Oh, right on.
Yes.
I struggled whether to put that on the list. Go ahead.
Did you? I kind of loved it. Like, it's so elementally simple. Like, it's very much like there's no antagonist.
It's Robinson Crusoe on Mars.
It's Robinson Crusoe on Mars. So it's just, it's we got to science the shit out of these problems. Here's a guy stuck on Mars, a botanist, naturally, because botany is the thing that you would need to survive on Mars, but astronaut on some like 200 years from now mission. Ship goes bad, things go awry. He's stuck on Mars by himself, has to survive for some 600 some odd days alone on Mars. It's just really, really, really well wrought. You know, I mean, Ridley Scott knows how to make a movie. He knows how to make a movie in which the screen feels bigger than it is. He knows how to make a movie about, he knows how to make science fiction.
There's one movie with one moment in the movie with that lunar landscape and he's got the Mars rover and it's so vast.
It's massive.
Then you get the idea of like, Jesus Christ. It's not like being lost in America or on Earth. It's like, you know, sooner or later you're bound to trip over something or somebody as long as you're not in the ocean or the middle of the desert. It's just, you get the impression that like, it's this.
Yeah.
Him alone on a planet. And it totally works.
And like Matty Damon, like he carries this movie. It's his job
Probably
to be
best
the person.
performance of the year, I'd say.
Yeah. Like
one of the best, if not the best. And think about it. He's got to carry the whole fucking movie on his shoulders.
Pretty much. I mean, there's, you know, guys back in NASA. There's a bunch of dudes in science labs sciencing things. But it's him. It's him by himself. And it's funny and it's heartbreaking and it's rousing and it's scary and it's all these things at once. And I just fucking loved it. I saw it by myself at a screening and cried.
I think I teared up at the end.
Yeah,
too.
because like the idea that this guy has been giving it his all for so long by himself that when he finally, spoilers, makes it off of Mars, just that moment where he realizes that it's going to happen. Like he's talking to people again.
And his brain saved him.
Yeah.
He didn't punch anything to get there.
No, there's no bad guy that had to be subdued. There was no like terrorist threat that had to be nullified. It's a guy had to figure out how to survive long enough for rescue to show up.
It's got a good cast too.
It's got a
Michael Pena is also in that, isn't
Michael Pena is, again, this year's MVP for me.
It's true.
It's Michael Pena, and it's the not Bryce Dallas Howard, but it's Jessica Chastain.
Jessica Chastain, the other.
Yeah. Chiwetel Ejiofor plays like the head of NASA's NASA thing.
Kristen Wiig,
kind of wasted a little bit. Sue Storm is in it.
What's her name?
Well. Kate Mara.
Who's just like, thank God I had this year too.
Yeah. Woo. And Jeff Daniels playing a wonderfully.
Jeff Daniels as Jeff Daniels playing the same role he played in Jobs, I believe.
Pretty much, just like the guy in a suit who tells you what you can't do, but pays for it when you decide to do it anyway.
He's a good actor, though.
He's a very good actor.
All right. All right. You convinced me, man. I sat there going like, do I throw The Martian in my top 10? I enjoyed it, but then I really thought about it and I was like, what do I remember other than like, oh, Matt was really good. And, you know, there are things I remember, but it just didn't pop up on my top 10, but you made a good case for it, man. It is a wonderful movie. Check out The Martian.
You should do that.
Number 4 for me was Tomorrowland.
Aww.
I just lost the audience. Like, what?
Who are you?
Didn't fucking put The Martian, but you put Tomorrowland? This is how I like my space movies, kids. Made up. None of this shit's real. Touch a pin,
science.
Touch a pin and go to space.
There's hope, not science.
Yeah, and sometimes there's not hope either. If you talk to House, House gets in the movie and gives a monologue where you're like, boy, we are fucked up as a species.
Thanks, House.
I love this movie. I saw it. I didn't see it in the theaters. I saw it on a plane. And some people suggested that's why I liked it. Like, dude, you're trapped on a plane for 5 fucking hours. You got to like it. And, maybe once, not twice, 3 times. I've seen it like 4 fucking times. Really fun flick. Different movie. I've not quite seen this film before. 2 central performances by female leads are exquisite. George Clooney is, let me see, more than welcome. I mean, is that really a fucking more than welcome?
I like you, Clooney. You can stick around.
Well, he doesn't. He's not the star. Like they make you think like he's the star, and he's definitely in it, but he's more of a supporting character. Yeah, it's not his movie, but he's welcome when he's in. You're like, oh my god, I fucking love George Clooney. Brad Bird, man, directed. Brad Bird directed, the director of The Incredibles, and this movie, like everything Brad Bird does, very distinctive, its own beast. It didn't click with audiences, didn't work at the box office for some reason. But this is a movie for makers, for creative people. And I'm not saying if you're not creative, you won't get it. But if you're like an artist, this movie like fucking screams at you to be watched. And if you're an optimist or a humanist, movies, it's right up your alley as well. I can't really describe it without making it sound bad, but trust me, it's worth the ride. Just strap in. If you're not digging it by the hour mark, bail. But it's totally worth watching, man. And I felt bad for Brad Bird. This movie is so good. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
So good. And like a lot of people were like, fuck him and fuck this Clooney picture. But they didn't get it. Like, or, maybe they got it and they just didn't appreciate it. All this shit's subjective. But I was moved by this movie. I cried watching this movie each time.
It's one of those things where, and we talked about it before in the podcast, where if this was like 20 years ago, this was a movie that you would, like Princess Bride, which is fantastic, that you would eventually come to on video. You would discover it, and it would just live for years and years and years as somebody's favorite movie.
I wonder if this movie will have that life. They don't really even seem to like cop to it at Disneyland.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I looked around for merch.
Tomorrowland.
They have a Tomorrowland, so I was like, hey, maybe they got some merch. But they're just kind of like, yeah, that happened. They should put it loud and proud. I thought it was a really fun flick, really heartwarming flick. And it's a movie full of unrealistic notions and shit, but it's got an insane heart. Like it's full of fucking heart, man. Some shit achieves on will or on skill. This movie achieves on will. And it's skillfully made, but the will of this movie, man. If it doesn't win you over, you might be one of the robots in the movie there. I said it.
Well, yeah, it's a movie for dreamers.
Very good. A movie for dreamers about robots. It's kind of what it's about.
The lovers, the dreamers, and me.
Yeah. Yes. And here, it's about a little boy who falls in love with a robot. It's kind of what the movie's about.
It's like Ex Machina.
A little bit.
Way different.
My God, Mark, you're so smart. These are the same movies. Tomorrowland and Ex Machina are the same movie. It's about a little boy who grows up to fuck a robot. It's amazing. All right, number 3.
Number 3.
What you got?
For me, I got Creed.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the Creed's on my list as well.
Is it now?
Yeah.
We've only got 3 spots left.
I know. Guess where mine is. Let's talk Creed.
Let's talk Creed. I am a sucker for sports movies, because there is something primal about the way those things work. I'm a sucker for movies about unresolved father-son issues. I'm a sucker for Rocky movies because I've seen them all.
Isn't that weird? Like for me, I forgot that I was a Rocky movie fan until I watched this movie, and then I was like, oh my God, I love these movies.
Because like the last one that you saw that you liked was Rocky 4. Right. And even that I was like, yeah, like I get it.
He became a superhero at the end.
He totally does. When like Rocky fixes like glasnost as his fault. Like, thanks, Rock, for solving the Cold War.
But to be fair, after that movie, wall came down.
Yeah.
So
there's a great fake 30 for 30 ESPN special about that fight.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah. I think somebody did it. It might have been like,
online,
Funny
like a fan doing it.
but it was pegged to the 20th, 30th anniversary of that movie,
Right.
where it's literally like they're interviewing people about, and in Russian, so it's subtitle of, Rocky came to Russia, you know.
They played it real?
Yeah, they totally played it straight. It's like, we didn't like him so much. He's up in the mountains doing his thing. I don't know, but yeah, you gotta say when he faced the guy. I don't know where that accent just went.
Your Russian is, yeah,
That's
a bit of pizza pie.
It totally went into like Super Mario Brothers, but that's fine.
It's a me.
But no, the fake documentary is great. But I love this fucking movie. And
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan is so great as Adonis Creed. Spoiler, because that's a plot point of the movie, as if you didn't know, because the movie's called Creed. But whatever. And Stallone.
Title spoiler.
Title spoiler. It's right there. And Stallone is so heartwarming as Sylvester Stallone as Rocky, which you forgot how good he was at doing that.
Give him the goddamn award now.
You know, like
give him the goddamn best
he's
supporting actor
so-
award right now. Give him all the awards.
So good.
I'm with you. This movie, I'll jump ahead, is in my number 2 spot. It's
Okay.
in your 3. It's in my 2. I love this film. It was such a surprise because, like, I remember when I saw the trailer, I was like, what a good idea. They're rebooting it, kind of, with the kid. That's smart. But I fell in love with this film. The journey is worth the trip. Brian Coogler is an incredible filmmaker. But the emotional payoff of the final scene alone is worth the journey, kids. Watching, spoilers, if you ain't seen it yet, watching Sylvester Stallone climb the stairs that, he ran up fucking when I was a kid. And,
2 movies.
And anytime you went to Philly, dude, like, that's what you did.
Yeah, they still got the statue.
And the stairs are still there, too.
Yeah,
They ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
The Philly
But, like,
Museum of Art is still there.
those iconic stairs, dude, they saved for the fucking gut punch of watching 70-year-old Rocky. The age of Mickey in the first one is what Sylvester Stallone's character Rocky, or Sylvester Stallone, is when they're making this movie. Watching him go up the stairs slowly with the help of Michael B. Jordan. Even just talking about it, dude, gets me glassy. And he stops midway and he takes a breath, and then the kid's like, come on, you said you'd do this. It's so beautiful. We don't deserve a fucking Rocky movie that beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, not since the 70s has Rocky been this beautiful. I love Rocky 3 as much as the next guy. That movie is a pretty fucking, like 3-act structure, Hollywood
Very much so.
punch up.
Hey, woman.
Yes.
Why come we forget it was real, man?
Now I gotta watch that. Remember how mad he was?
Oh, come on, chump.
He's so bad. He's so bad. Remember he's touching
My mother's harder than this.
his mohawk during the fight and shit?
Come on.
Just really taunting him. Did they do that in the fight game?
I don't think there's quite that much like pawing.
I'd imagine if you did, like, that gives you more than enough time to punch somebody in the fucking head.
Yeah, there's not so much like pity patter. You're like, I'm gonna touch your little hair.
That's my favorite parts of the movie, though. Not the real fighting, pugilism and shit, but where he's teasing him.
He's so bad.
Hey, fool, you should have never come back. All right, so Rocky 3, yes, fun, 3-act structure. Fucking movie. It's like the Star Wars of Rocky movies. Like, there's a clear good guy and a clear bad guy, and boy, oh boy, they're gonna fight. This movie, more nuanced and way more emotionally satisfying.
Yeah, like this feels like an indie movie. It feels like the indie movie that Rocky was in 1976.
Oh my God, so well put. Yes, absolutely.
And it managed to be both a remake and a sequel, and they're both nested within one another in a way it's this perfect like Cadbury egg of amazing.
Which is my 3rd movie. Yours is Creed. Creed is my 2nd. My 3rd is Force Awakens. Which Creed and Force Awakens is a perfect double bill, man. You can send me, take fucking 12, 11-year-old me to the movie theater, drop me off, and I will just see those 2 movies all day long until you pick me up at midnight and shit like that. Those 2 movies bookend what I think is the year of the fan film. The year that we've seen films being made by people who grew up as fans of the source material, and we're seeing spokes being added to the wheel that are as strong as the original spokes, if not stronger in some cases and whatnot. And watching like a mantle being passed down to now the fan is making the film, and it's as good as, in some cases, the source material. I as much as, I've gone on about Force Awakens for a long time on the previous show, so you know how I feel. Just watched it again for a 3rd time recently. Sorry. Still holds up. Incredible, joyful experience. Very emotional. I think you don't have to have been a kid of the 70s to enjoy this movie by any stretch of the imagination. There are children reportedly enjoying this film who were just born recently. But if you're a kid of the 70s, JJ did what we all dreamed we were going to see with those prequels. Like, yeah, we're going to see our childhood come to life. And most people felt like their childhood was trampled in the prequels. This felt like your childhood coming back to life. In an almost 3-act structure, you got your first Star Wars trilogies, your opening act, and yay. Second act of your Star Wars trilogies, the villain comes in and makes everything kind of weird. And
the hero's at his lowest point. We've taken everything away from him. We've broken him down.
He's frozen in carbonite. Your third trilogy, everything is set right.
Totally.
And there's a happy ending, man. It's like the Return of the Jedi of the Star Wars trilogies.
We will be yubbing by the time this is all done.
You ain't kidding. I said it before on the podcast. I'll be talking about this movie for the rest of my life. And how often can you say that about a fucking flick? You know what I'm saying? I mean, whether it's joking about it or just referencing it because a new movie's coming out. Like, now that The Force Awakens and Kylo Ren and all this shit has entered my lexicon, it will be there until the fucking day I die. And I'm sure I'll be making fucking comments about this, just like I did the other Star Wars. I didn't do that much with those prequel trilogies. You know what I'm saying?
There's nothing to grab onto.
I mean, an easy grab on is like, hey, Jar Jar, right, everybody? And like, whoa, fuck it. But there's so much mythology in this movie that it allows you to be like, hey, Kylo Ren. You know, suddenly we got new language to share. Think about it. We geeks have shared the same language for so long. So it's like somebody's introduced new words into our lexicon, new language that we're suddenly like, now we can have these conversations about fake people. Oh my God, we're so sad. It's okay. All right, so my third is Force Awakens. Your third is Creed.
Yes.
My second is Force Awakens. What's your second?
Inside Out.
Ooh. Inside Out is also on my list, but I won't tell you where.
I wonder where.
What? Tell me about it.
Dude, it's fuck. Like, we talked before about, being a dad, taking your kid to a movie. And, sometimes we do this thing and we endure whatever the kid wants to see because sometimes they're not what we want them to be. And then sometimes you run into a thing.
Movie. I like the Peanuts movie.
I think you run into like Inside Out, which is this amazingly strong Pixar movie about this girl named Riley who is on the verge of puberty, verge of becoming a teenager, and the warring emotions within her that are sort of charting her course. And so most of the movies take place in her head, where it's joy and there's sadness and there's anger and there's the other one. Can't remember. What were the other ones? Joy,
anger, sadness,
anger, fear.
Bill Hader.
All sort of having various roles within this kid's head. And for the most part, Riley's life had been ruled by joy because joy is what you want a kid to feel. And it's what most kids do feel. Like unless you were living in the most abject of poverty, life for you, if you're 9, is amazing all the time. But as you get older, sadness begins to creep in. You begin to evolve. And this movie is very much about that evolution from a person whose parents want them to feel joy to realizing that sadness is not only going to be part of your life, it's an integral part of your life.
How many, you can't say this about many movies. How many movies can reach a kid and go, oh, and reach a fucking adult and make you go, oh.
Yeah.
This movie, as much as it's a kid's movie, felt like it was more for adults. It was more of a primer on letting go.
Yes, totally. It is.
Let your kid fail. Let your kid, don't be a helicopter parent. No more hovering and shit like that.
It's about loss being a necessary part of life.
Which honestly is a lesson that maybe a kid needs to learn, but I'm fucking 45 and it was a helpful lesson to me. I'm like, oh yeah, it can't all be joy.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's gotta be some blues.
Totally. So, and it works for people who don't have kids. It works for people who are kids, but I think it is absolutely effective if you've got a kid.
And I'll tell you right now, dude, fucking one of the most well-written movies of the year. Like, in any just world, of course, it's going to win Best Picture at the Oscars, as if that fucking matters, but for animation. I would give it Best Screenplay. Like, what's more original than that? Honestly.
And effective and funny and heartbreaking and moving. And the movie it moves. Like, it's never static. It's never too fast. It's never too languorous. And it fucking just wrecked me, dude.
Oh, dude. I mean, look, I'm just going to give you 2 words, bing bong.
Oh, don't even.
You say bing bong to any adult fucking male, female. Yeah. We all had a bing bong. Every kid's got a bing bong. It sounds dirty. But holy shit, this bing bong fucking destroyed me. My kid had a bing bong named Yay Yay. That was pink, a pink elephant.
Oh, dude.
So I was like, when I was watching the movie, I was like, shut up, they're talking to me. Oh my God, I've been a bad father.
Get out of my heart, Pixar.
It's such a fucking great flick. I have it as my number one flick, man.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it on the podcast before. If you haven't seen it yet, if you're one of these fucking Nazi robots, these fucking Reich robots that's just like, I do not like Pixar or movies about children's feelings. Fucking put the hate tank down for one day. Watch this movie, man. I'm telling you, it's not a kid's movie. It's an adult movie. And it's not an adult film. Don't look for nudity.
No, but despite Bing Bong being in there, it's not an adult film.
Sadly. Yeah, there's a lot of Bing Bong. But it's a movie, I tell you, you don't get this out of many movies. You walk away a better person. Come on.
Yes.
That's most movies, like, you pay your money. The only guarantee you're going to get is like, you're going to be indoors for an hour and a half. That's it. It's the only guarantee we'll give you. On this movie, you can guarantee you're going to walk away a better person. How often can you say that?
And much like The Martian, where there's no antagonist, this could have been so easy for them to make a movie where sadness was the villain.
Yeah.
Where sadness was the thing you had to defeat in order to make it. That's your threshold guardian is sadness. But instead, this makes again, spoilers for a movie that's now 6 months old, but it makes the incredibly ballsy choice of saying, no, I know you want to feel this, but it's necessary. It's part of who you have to be, is sad. And that's totally legit.
It's and it's not the, you have to be sad, like you have to eat your vegetables kind of thing. It's just sadness is the pathway to happiness, Dick. As if we all, we forget. Yeah. It's like, you don't really, it's called comparison. You need to know how bad shit can be in order to know how good shit is.
Yeah.
So one, they're symbiotic. And I'm telling you, man, it's sad when a fucking cartoon has to break that down for you as an adult, but it's useful when it does.
Yeah, I am 100% on board with this movie.
I loved it.
Look, I don't have any fancy, factual, scientific information to back this up, but I'm relatively sure that building a website is about the toughest thing you'll ever do next to playing soccer. It's hell on earth, folks. And even if you know your way around coding, which, who are you? Good Will Hunting? How do you know this shit? Creating something that looks good and works, that's a time-consuming affair, man. Whether it's for a business site, a portfolio, a restaurant, whatever else, in this day and age, you probably need one anyway, man. You need a website. Well, lucky for us, Squarespace makes it real easy to build beautiful websites without breaking your balls or sweating, anything like that. Squarespace provides simple, powerful, beautiful websites, man, that look professionally designed regardless of skill level. No coding required. You can be a total idiot. Walk in and suddenly build yourself a website. I've tried. It works. Not only does Squarespace provide you with intuitive and easy-to-use tools to create your website with, Squarespace also has state-of-the-art technology powering your site, man, to ensure security and stability. Let me tell you something. If the singularity happens, it ain't going to be because of the good folks at Squarespace. Their shit is locked down on tight, man. They know. And you know how you can trust Squarespace for your website needs? When millions of people and some of the most respected brands in the world trust them too, man. That's how you fucking know. Let me tell you about Squarespace. Ming Chen, human being, indispensable as a comic book man. But Ming Chen was the guy who I had to turn to back in the days, say, please build my website. I don't speak this funny coding language. I need help. And he would hold me in his grasp, make me do things with my mouth and put them on TV, because he was the key to the websites. But now, Squarespace, man. Squarespace allowed me to break from the tyranny of Ming Chen. It will allow you to break from the tyranny of your Ming Chen as well.
Start your free trial site today at squarespace.com. When you decide to sign up at Squarespace, make sure to use the offer codes FATMAN, FATMAN, to get 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace. Build it beautiful.
That was my number one. What's your number one for the year?
My number one was Mad Max: Fury Road,
right on,
which
man.
we talked about in the previous.
We talked about last episode, but tell them what you thought.
It's rare that you see a movie that is this simple. Like the story of Mad Max is, we're going to get in this truck and we're going to drive over there, and we're going to turn around and we're going to drive back to where we came from.
We're going there. We're going back. Credit.
Shit will happen along the way.
Witness. And we all did.
We all did. But it is this pure, like, kinetic storytelling. Like, it is all motion. It is all action. And from action comes character. And there's so little dialogue to even, like, there must have been a script. Who knows? Apparently, much of it was built in storyboards. Like, they wrote this movie in storyboards. And it feels that way. It feels like it's the language of cinema at its most basic. And God, it's so gorgeous. I mean, They went to Namibia. They went to these deserts. They went into the middle of nowhere and blew everything up. And it's a feminist movie in a way that does not at all beat itself over the head. It's called Mad Max, but it might as well be Furiosa because it's very much about this woman who is a survivor.
Mad Maxine, if you will.
Mad Maxine. It's about, and we talked about this a lot with Jessica Jones. It's a movie about like abuse survivors. It's a movie about this woman who in her life has done horrible things and probably had horrible things done to her, who wants to stop the cycle of violence. And by doing so, she's going to take these other women out from Imperial or what's-his-face's place.
Immortan Joe. Do not become addicted to water, my friend. I was like, what a crimson notion. It's like, don't get addicted to water. It's like,
water is your evil. I mean, yeah. And so her entire motivation is to just take these women to the green place where they will be safe. And the movie is also about the fact that there is no green place. There is no safety. There is creating the world you need out of the world you have. And it's stunning.
Oh, I missed that. That's good.
Yeah.
God, this is why I like talking movies with you. You see everything. You see stuff I didn't see. That's you're right. It's like, it's kind of metaphorical. There's no green place, bitch.
Yeah. No, you got
green place is in Immortan Joe's mountain. Throw them out, it's yours.
Get there. It's all there for you.
He's literally got greens hanging up. Yeah, that was a fucking good movie. It's one of those movies too that if you could be like, I was on a plane. Anytime it was on, I'd be like, all right, I'm in. Didn't matter where it was. I could jump in from that point. At home, I got it on my iPad now, and I got it on my laptop and shit. Anytime I'm like, I got 10 minutes. Let me roll this, because 10 minutes of that movie is a fucking meal. It's a sumptuous fucking meal.
And it's made of whole cloth. Like nothing from that movie feels like any other movie you've ever seen before, even the movies that it's a sequel to. You know, like you can trace the lineage between Road Warrior and that, but it does not look anything like Road Warrior.
No, he fucking outdid himself. He's so fucking sick talented.
Yeah.
All the filmmakers of all the movies that we like this year, crazy sick talented. But let me ask you this, Mark Bernard. If somebody told you at the end of last year, 2015, at the end of 2014, beginning of 2015, that our two favorite movies would be Mad Max and Inside Out, a Pixar movie coming after a long line of Pixar sequels, where there was this kind of vibe in the air of like, they peaked.
Right, they lost it.
Yeah, they're just, now they're doing business, and that's fine. It's still good, but it's not what. Then they fucking like, oh yeah, and cut our hearts, cleave our hearts in twain with Inside Out. What is going to happen next year, dude? If those are the two movies that were like, this is the best we saw this year, and that's not going like, this is the best we saw because everything else was crap. There's some fucking tough choices to be made.
Yes.
Like in a world where I didn't even have The Martian and Ant-Man on my list, and I've seen Ant-Man 4 fucking times and loved it. There's some tight competition. People are like, move the peanuts, you jerk. No, I fucking like Charlie Brown.
I stand by my love.
Yeah, Snoopy, dude. Maybe not that World War I flying ace shit, but everything else. Man, oh man, it's good time.
Yeah. And I feel like, next year, as it is every year, there will be some movie we didn't know we would love that somehow we just can't get enough of.
I'm predicting that movie is called Yoga Hosers.
Ooh.
I'm calling it right now. Like
Well
Babe
done.
Ruth. I'm like pointing out into the field and shit.
You didn't know you're going to love it, but you totally going to love it. It's right
You
over
didn't know
there.
you needed this movie. What are the movies we're looking forward to in 2016? Well, right off the bat, a couple months from now, BVS, bitch, Batman versus Superman.
Yes.
In August, Suicide Squad. In May, Cap fights Iron Man, Civil War. I forgot.
Cap v. Iron Man.
Cap v. Iron Man. Oh my
Dawn
God.
of Civility.
War of Civility. It is. Those are the big movies,
Dude.
plus a lot of other.
Plus, Independence Day, Ghostbusters, Star Trek Beyond.
Ghostbusters, yes. Star Trek
Gambit.
Beyond, yes. Gambit, I'm
Gambit.
curious about.
Uncle Denzel is in the Magnificent Seven remake.
Ooh, I'm in.
Yes, totally. Uncle Denzel.
Tell him, Mark. Go ahead.
Tell him now. We got the Rogue One next December. We got the Fantastic Beasts, which is 1 hour away from being like my favorite movie ever. Fantastic Breasts.
And where to find him. It's a picture of your wife.
I'm right here.
Remember
this?
This better be the movie, Mark. You're like, it is.
It is, I swear, honey. Jungle Book.
Jungle Book looks fucking good,
Jungle
dude.
Book looks
I mean, I
strong.
know it's like we shot this in Burbank in a garage and everything's CG, but it looks fantastic. And
Totally
it's what's her name doing
That's
the
Scarlett
snake?
Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson is the snake.
Yes,
Trust in me.
trust in me.
That means we get to hear Bill Murray doing. Well, we hear in the trailer they're
Bare
whistling
necessities.
as Baloo the Bear. Do you think they'll sing or no?
They absolutely will sing.
They got it right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is now their model, like live action versions of their classic musicals.
Let me tell you something right now. Jon Favreau one of the greatest directors of his generation. Honestly, I feel that way. I think Iron Man's a perfect film. I've watched Iron Man so many times that it's fucking flawless. There's really nothing you can attack in that movie. Well made.
I could.
Shut up.
I know.
Shut up, Mark.
We won't, but I could.
It's like Star Wars. Like, it's just, to me, it's unassailable. Yeah, it's got some shit, but why bother?
Like, I will watch Robert Downey Jr. build shit in his garage for an entire act of a movie, and that's fine.
I'm okay with that.
That's all good.
I'm a guy who likes to sit around and watch people do shit. So I'm okay with that.
It's what I play.
That counts. That's escapism.
A man and his robot.
But as much as fuck, I forgot where I was going with that. Iron Man.
Fabs.
So Fabs, they didn't let him do Avengers, which, you know, they gave it to Joss naturally. Did a wonderful job. But Fabs, man, like, this dude's got crazy talent. I was always shocked they didn't give him a Star Wars movie. But they've only just started again.
Right. There's still time.
But one of those other two, like, legacy pictures, like,
Right.
I thought he would have been a shoo-in. After this Jungle Book movie, I bet you they give him a Star Wars movie. Like, he was born to make a Star Wars movie. If you watch Iron Man, it's almost like, wow, it's the joy and wonder of a Star Wars film.
Totally.
So, I'm not the biggest Jungle Book fan in the world. I'll be honest. When I saw that trailer, I was like, yeah, all right, fine, I get it. Kind of like Life of Pi, but with songs I know. I'm there for it and stuff, but I think that movie's going to make $1 gazillion.
Absolutely.
And then they're going to, it's Disney's Jungle Book movie. Also in the same family as Disney's Star Wars.
Yep.
I think he's going to segue to a Star Wars film. If that deal is not already being made, somebody fucking I'm telling, look at that Jungle Book trailer. Give him a Star Wars movie. Something. Stop being that way.
Why you wanna?
Why do I got to advocate for Jon Favreau? It makes no sense.
I get no 10% out of Fabs.
Come on, I got no skin in this game whatsoever, except I know goods when I see it. And this guy's got the goods, man. He's got the goods. Kugler's got the goods. Who else did we talk about on our list that had the goods? All of them.
George Miller.
Yeah. Oh my God. George Miller.
For huge, got the goods.
Why the fuck Marvel hasn't signed him for a movie, try to steal him away from Warner Brothers? And why Warner Brothers doesn't have him working on some fucking Bat Super something right now?
I mean, now the thing I want to see the most in the world is George Miller's Justice League.
Fuck yes. Yeah, all right.
I mean, we will never see it. It almost happened.
Just give him anything, dude. Give him any fucking character. Let him make the Man of Steel sequel. Like, now that Zach's off making Batman movies, like, give it. You want to see how interesting fucking Superman could be?
Yes.
Give it to a 70-year-old man who made dune buggies in the desert interesting again.
That guy.
That's fine. It'd be amazing. Or as I've said, I think on Movie Fights over on the Screen Junkies channel, I said, give George Miller The Dark Knight Returns. And what I said, could you imagine source material and the director almost this like similar age, about an age guy? But I said, make George Clooney Batman. That way he can kind of go back and make good.
Oh, very nice.
But then somebody did me one better on Twitter, dude. And you tell me,
Okay.
Because somebody on Twitter goes, "You want real redemption?" And I do. So I was like, "Yeah,
Please.
You want real redemption?" George Miller directs Dark Knight Returns, but it's not Clooney. Say it.
I know.
Say it.
Mel Gibson.
And
God.
right away I was like, I kind of chuckled, but I'm like, wow.
I mean, when I saw Mel Gibson is in Expendables 3, like he's the big bad in Expendables 3.
How is he?
He's great. Jacked within an inch of his life.
I know.
He looks so amazing.
I know, but
yeah, but
in that fictional world where George Miller is like, I'm directing Dark Knight Returns and like,
man alive.
could you, all right, so remove all the everything ick from the last 10 years. Just go back to Lethal Weapon 2. That's your Dark Knight.
Yes.
Maybe not that. None of that fucking Three
Less of
Stooges
that.
stuff.
Less of that.
I thought when I saw that idea, though, I was like, wow, that is redemption.
Totally
The
is.
guy was like, you want to talk redemption? I'm like, yeah, that would be real
You're
redemption.
right.
Clooney's like, look, I ain't got nothing to make up for compared to this. Maybe you didn't like my Batman, but fuck you guys. Yeah, man, George Miller. George Miller,
Mel
fucking
Gibson.
Alex Garland was the guy that did Ex Machina. I think it's his first movie.
He's written stuff
He's
before.
written, but he's never
he wrote
directed
28
before.
Days Later. He wrote Judge Dredd.
Crazy good fucking talent. Did he write that Judge Dredd
Yeah.
movie? Get that motherfucker talented. Let's do our top 10 list real quick to recap
Okay.
as we finish our show. Number 10 for me was The Big Short.
Where's my, hold on.
Number 10 for
My list
Mark
ran away. Where'd it
was...
What happened to my things? All right, there we go. Kingsman.
Kingsman. Number 9 for me was Peanuts movie. Number 9 for Mark was.
What Happened, Miss Simone?
Ex Machina was 8 for me, and 8 for Mark was.
Star Wars, Force
7
Awakens.
was The Gift for me. 7 was.
Steve Jobs.
6 was Mad Max Fury Road for me, and Mark had.
Ant-Man.
Number 5, Mark, what'd you have?
Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
And I had Where to Invade Next. I had Tomorrowland at number 4. What did you have, Mark?
The Martian.
Ooh, sexy choice. I had Force Awakens at number 3. What did you have, Mark?
The Creed.
Nice. And I had Creed at number 2. What did you have, Mark?
Inside Out.
And I had Inside Out at number 1. What did you have, Mark?
Mad Max Fury Road.
Fucking fun, man. I wish it was 2016 so we could do it again.
I know, right?
Well, we can. It is 2016, so let's just do it.
Fun, fuck it.
We
All
can
right.
look at a list of movies to come for 2016 and pick our 10 favorites
Doctor
based on how it
Strange
makes us
is number 7.
You ain't kidding. Fucking there it is, dude.
Here we go.
I bet you we could do the top 5 right now, dude.
Okay.
And in no particular order, Batman v Superman. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm betting, kids. I'm betting on it.
Bring it.
Suicide Squad, Civil War. What did you just say?
I said Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. Is that coming on Christmas?
Yep.
So that is going to be 2016.
Yes.
One more.
Sure.
One more wild
Rogue
card.
One.
slot.
Are you feeling Rogue One? Or
I mean, look, I'm feeling. I'm feeling Rogue One more than Ghostbusters, but I do want to see Ghostbusters. But if I say Rogue One, they're going to be like, "You're in the bag for the Star Wars."
You know what I'm going to say? Finding Dory.
You're right. It's going to be a Pixar movie.
Yes.
And it is going to be Finding Dory. There's going to be some emotional shit in there. Good pull. Scary good pull. Scary good partner right here, ladies and gentlemen. You ever want to talk about shit don't matter in life? You do it. This man right here. He's the gold, man.
Vault of useless knowledge.
Tons. And we're here to talk some shit.
What?
Oh, we're going to tell you things that are going on in the
So
world
much.
of pop and culture. We got both here.
Both
pop
of them?
and culture.
Not like the country and western.
Yeah, no, I stole that from the Blues Brothers. I tried to rock it on this young audience because they don't know from the Blues
We
Brothers.
got both kinds here, pop and culture.
That's what's next, dude. They're going to remake the Blues Brothers with all women. Like just how they're doing
Ooh.
Ghostbusters. Now they're going to listen to me. I sound like I'm from New England. Ghostbusters.
The Ghostbusters.
The Ghostbusters. Just like they're doing Ghostbusters all lady cast, you can do Blues Brothers all lady cast.
Soul Sisters.
I go home because it'll never get better than that. And we didn't even, it wasn't even like, you say this, I'll say Soul Sisters. Like that came off the top of his head. You saw the moment of inspiration. Mark Bernard.
I've got the sweat coming off my head like a football player.
You're a writer.
In the
dude.
cold.
I always fancy myself a writer, but you're a writer. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this movie that needs a little help, man.
Yeah.
We here at Fat Man on Batman, we believe in helping the underdog. And there's a movie that's worth your time that you might have missed this holiday season.
You could have just flown right over your head.
See it if you can.
Yes.
Find it somewhere. It's called Star Wars The Force Awakens. There's
Yeah.
yet another Star Wars story. This motherfucker won't leave the news. As we speak, it's passing Avatar as the highest
Domestic, yes.
grossing
International
film.
has still got a ways to go.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's already hit this one. Like if you were trying to climb Everest, they're at not base camp. They're halfway. Are they?
Yeah, they're like the Hillary step where everybody else dies.
Okay.
I
And
think.
so far they're alive. They're like, we got plenty of oxygen.
We got all the O2 we need.
I was sitting there going like, wow, man, what a way to describe it. But it's called the Hillary what?
The Hillary step, where Sir Edmund Hillary died, I think, on that step, and his body's still buried because you can't, it turns out, bring bodies down from Everest.
And he was the first one?
Yeah, I think he was, died on. That's the mountain he chose to die on.
Literally. Guess which mountain I'm choosing to die on?
There's a
This one.
step for me.
I'm so winded. All right, so they've reached the Sir Edmund Hillary level of the box office
but not the summit.
crown, not the summit. And maybe that's how some people out there are still like, I'm telling you, man, whoever writes for Forbes, I'm not urging for somebody to lose a job, but like anybody who wrote, I don't know if this movie's actually going to make that much money.
Yes.
And writes for box office reports needs to be looked at. So suspect.
I mean, there's a Better Homes and Gardening magazine I'm sure he'd be great at.
My mom could have predicted this is going to be the highest grossing film domestically, at least. That's the thing. Even if you were like, you're going to make all time, I would have thrown my dick out there and been like, domestic is going to take the domestic crown. And I don't even think that's throwing your dick out there.
Not so much.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like just showing off a bulge. You don't even have to take it out.
It's like it's not even showing off a bulge. It's indicating that I enjoy sex and leaving it there. Not even saying I want it from you. But as it's here it stands to take the crown in the domestic box office chart, highest grossing film in North America of all time.
Yes.
How much further does it have to go? Another billion? No.
Another Avatar, I believe, is 2.8 billion, and Force Awakens is now at 1.5 billion.
In right now, this recording, I think we're at 18 days max. Maybe it's like 16 days or something. So, and let's say, okay, are its best days behind it at this point? You know, has everyone who wants to see it want to see it? And is the holiday period now over? And is everyone going back to work? These are a lot of questions. Mark,
These totally are.
Yes, the answer to all of them is yes. But does that make a difference? This movie's pretty strong, even with the chatter about like, is she a Mary Sue, or hey, this is an awful lot like another Star Wars movie I saw. And now, you know, you see pockets, people trying to write articles going like, well, now we've reconsidered it and fuck it or whatever. But it don't matter. It keeps earning. This is a really satisfying movie and stuff. There's a chance that
there's a chance.
Beyond a strong chance. I'm not even going like, you know, what was it? 1.4 right now?
It's 1.4, 1.5 now. It's got to get to 2.8.
So that's another 1.3 billion.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
Has it opened in China yet?
No. It's open in South Korea and is underperforming in South Korea.
Underperforming?
Yes. But overperforming in Japan.
Hey, South Korea. Which Korea is that? Kim
That's the
Jong-un,
good
other
Korea.
one? And it's the good one? Hey, get on the stick, man. We don't want prequels anymore.
Yeah,
they're on a roll.
They're just getting the first Tron in North Korea at this point.
The effects are amazing.
It's like, wow, it's like Steamboat Willie's doing his thing.
The height of animation.
But I mean, here's the thing that sort of amazes me about comparing those two movies is that Star Wars has 40 years of built-in sort of fan awareness.
Absolutely.
Avatar didn't. Like, Avatar was just a movie that James Cameron dropped into the world.
It's true.
And
it starts cold. I mean, granted, we all saw the movie when it was called Pocahontas.
Right.
Or any other movies that were
Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves, you know, but with blue cats. But still, you're right. It is kind of
it was like, I made this movie, and there were trailers, and we all went to go see it, apparently 8,700 times each.
And it's also like anybody could have done this. I mean, granted, maybe you wouldn't do it as good as me because I'm Jim Cameron, but anybody could have made a movie about blue cats in space, you know, and a magic tree. No, you didn't want to, and a lot of you like rode my dick about it. But ha, look at me, like, and so he's got that as well, to bragging rights of that.
And it's like, and at the time, there weren't that many 3D screens in the country, so not that many theaters could upcharge for the 3D, whereas now you could see nothing but 3D if that's what you wanted to.
So do you think Jim Cameron, I mean, do you think, like, because he's owned the top box office slot for a multiple?
Yeah, it was Titanic first, and then
he sold it from himself with Avatar.
Right.
Do you think he's sweating it all? Do you think he gives a shit? Or is it like, look, I got 18 more Avatars coming, and every one of them blue cats is going to make money, bitch, 2.8 or whatever the hell.
Yeah, kitties up the wazoo for the next decade.
He's like, the thing about cats, they never die. 9 lives, and they're all blue.
Now and forever.
Memories. All right, so
yeah. But I still think, like, it's got a shot, but it's a long shot at this point.
Long shot?
According to box office prognosticators who don't work for Forbes, it's, I mean, basically it's got to gross like a Dark Knight level. Like, it's got to make another 1.3 billion, which would be a massive hit already.
But I mean, considering we're only
like another Avengers on top of this.
On top. It's not showing signs of wearing, am I correct?
93 million or something last weekend.
And granted, that was a holiday weekend. You have your holiday multiplier and stuff. But I feel like
even still,
it could still. I don't think I'm.
And I would
putting
not
much neck out there. Maybe just a little tip. When I stick a tip out the zipper by going, I think it's going to do it.
I would not also put it past Disney to wisely re-release it before Rogue One opens next Christmas.
Go to a 2-shot. There's your smart money right there.
Like, they will totally double pump this into theaters just so they get another 30, 40 million at the tail end.
If that gets them there too.
If it gets them there.
All right. Regardless, obviously, an over-the-top success and stuff. I believe in JJ. I think he's going to get there. But let's talk about something Star Wars related that's weird. And not like, yay, everyone. This movie, this Force Awakens picture is one of the most inclusive pieces of anything ever created by mankind. Would you agree?
I think so.
Holy cap.
There's 2 ladies in it.
And it feels like every race is represented this time. And it feels like even like Chewie comes off better.
I know.
Like, if you count the animal race or whatever. So it's just like, it's very inclusive, old characters, brand new characters and whatnot. Yet there's still this bizarre stumbling block when it comes to like making the toys.
Yeah.
Most people know this, right? I throw up the picture of the Monopoly board in question. The Monopoly board here, Star Wars Monopoly. Now let's hold on that picture and look at these 4 characters. You got Finn, brand new to the Star Wars universe. You got Kylo Ren, also brand new to the Star Wars universe. Now, perhaps you're playing Generations here, so when you include young Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi, and you also include Darth Vader. Now, question about this, Darth Vader ain't even really in, other than this mashed up, smashing pumpkin's helmet. He's not really in The Force Awakens. Granted, this is Star Wars Monopoly, not just The Force Awakens Monopoly, but you see 4 players on that chessboard or on the Monopoly board. One of them ain't even in the movie.
Right.
We all know that the main character in The Force Awakens is Finn at this point. I mean, I'm Rey at this point.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Finn. Where's Rey?
Where's Princess Leia, for that matter, who is also in this movie and alive and not dead. But
Or
yes,
BB-8.
where's your Rey?
Yeah.
Where is your Rey is the question that people have been asking, especially about the dolls and the action figures. She's been very scarce. She's now like a collectible where you've got to like scavenge your Toys R Us's to find the one Rey.
She's a chase figure?
Apparently, at this point.
I went into a Disney store over Christmas and I saw a lot of Stormtroopers, a lot of Kylo Rens, but you're right. I didn't see.
There's not a ton, man. Like
Wow.
you've got to hunt to make the complete set.
But once again, this is a toy manufacturer going, I know toys and girls don't buy this, so we're not going to. But it's like, come on, stop saying
it's also
that.
Monopoly. You know?
Yeah, this isn't even like, hey, man, I don't want to fucking go through the process of making plastic molds for a Rey doll nobody's going to buy if that's your ethos. I personally believe they'd buy like crazy. This is Monopoly.
Yeah.
You play it with it's not like me and my dad and my brother and my grandpa are all going to play Monopoly because it's a man's game.
Because only men like money.
You know,
and
if you
real
remember
estate.
the original Monopoly, it was like a shoe, a dog, a hat, genderless pieces, an iron. Anybody could play Monopoly. But now, if you're a girl and you're looking at Star Wars Monopoly, you're like,
Right.
I guess it's out.
Here's the official statement from Hasbro.
Hasbro they walked it back, did they?
They tried to. The Star Wars Monopoly game was released in September, months before the movie's release, and Rey was not included to avoid revealing a key plot line that she takes on Kylo Ren and joins the Rebel Alliance, a spokesperson for Hasbro explained.
Oh, you know what that is.
Which, bullshit.
Bullshit. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You could put Rey. Rey was on the posters. Rey was in the first trailer.
How does including the figure reveal anything beyond there's a girl in this movie?
Unless they're like, well, we had a figure of her fighting Kylo Ren as one giant figure. But you're like, if you're just making single pieces, you're fine. It's unconscionable at this point. I'm not saying like this is a travesty, like in remember the character in the prequels? This is a travesty. But come on, this is a game usually not for all ages. You got to be a certain age to play Monopoly because it involves money, I guess. I don't know. You got to have some brains. You can't just, it's not like a pop-o-matic.
A bit of math.
A little. Enough to be like 5 and up or some such shit.
It's not a Hungry Hungry Hippo. It's Monopoly.
Well, I wish it was Hungry Hungry Hippo.
dude.
Did you imagine a Star Wars version of Hungry Hungry Hippo?
Just eating planets. I got Kashyyyk.
This is a game that everybody plays.
Yeah.
Both genders. Like, it seems
And even more than Hasbro missing it, I'm surprised that Lucasfilm missed it, because Lucasfilm needs to ratify and sign off on everything that's licensed with a Star Wars thing on it. So ultimately, somebody there had to be like, oh, yeah, no, that's totally fine.
Maybe they didn't realize, like, I'm sure a Rey piece will come later on.
Is that like an add-on? Is that downloadable content?
Is that DLC in this board game? How it happens is so weird, but I mean, I get it. I understand. Like, what you have is people in positions of power who, make plastic for a living. These pushing plastic people for a living and stuff, and they know their job. I'm not saying they don't, but it's like they're going from this conventional common wisdom, like years of experience. Like, no girl wants to buy. How do you know? Unless you force it down the throat, like you force 18 versions of Batman down my throat. Like,
and these guys had to have seen this coming from the way the community responded to there being no Black Widow figures after come on, guys. This is not the first time we've had to do this.
Disney can't be sitting there going, wait a second.
What?
This is new to us.
It's a trap.
Other toy news. So, it's not the end of the world, but it's
just
a missed opportunity. Like,
it's money on the table.
There it is. Money on the table. Why would you not want to sell the 51% of the population?
Yeah, and Disney, you know what princesses do for you, right? Like,
And you got one, man. I mean, she's a general now, but technically a princess.
you got a space princess just waiting to happen.
Maybe that's why they kept throwing in those princess comments in Force Awakens. Like Disney leaning on JJ going, she's a princess. And he's like, she's a general now. Like, you better mention princess.
Once upon a time, she was a princess.
That's how we sell the toys. It's just, you want to make everybody happy, recall it, jam a Ray in there, send it back into the world. You'll get a huge press influx.
Yep.
And you'll get a bunch of customers going, well, now I'm buying it. And they weren't even going to buy it last time. That's free.
Right. Insidious, but we'll give it to you.
It's marketing, though,
It's marketing.
Moving on in the toy news.
Yes, what else we got?
Toys, Mark. I felt like a broadcaster for a minute. Toys, go to a two-shot. Toys, Mark.
Toys.
Are what every child dreams of. No, toys lead our news this week because toys are starting to be spoilers in the movie community. Toilers, if you will.
Toilers.
Because basically, I'm coining that phrase right now.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Copyright. Hashtag fat man on Batman.
Toilers.
Toilers are happening left and right, Mark, because you got to sell a toy months before the movie comes out. So they've got to put together a catalog, like the Diamond Distributors catalog or something. Like the Diamond Select toy makers, guys we do all our toys with, they put like pictures of the figures in 6 months before they're even remotely done. You gotta.
I mean, like Toy Fair is in January, which is always like 4, 5, 6 months before these movies are coming out.
And it used to be no big deal. You go to Toy Fair and you'd be like, holy crap, that's what that's gonna look like. That is great. But in the age of the internet, man, somebody's like, and then puts it online.
Yep.
And $billion franchise gets spoiled, and you can't measure the effect yet. You don't know. Does it increase? Does it decrease interest? What have you? But no, publicly traded movie studio wants to play that game. They want to control everything up to the last possible minute. So the idea of like, this toy just spoiled the whole movie is really irritating and whatnot. And a problem, apparently. Such a problem that there was a Funko Pop and Lego and a German Lego catalog may have spoiled a big part of Civil War. Now, if you don't want, go to Two Shot. Because he better be on the hook for this too.
Yes.
I ain't getting in trouble by myself. If you don't want to know, get out now.
Just do it. Just jump.
Pause, fast forward, jump ahead.
Button.
Yeah, a minute ahead from now. According to these toys, and this is not a huge spoiler, I think, but some people would be like, I wanted to be surprised, you fat dick.
If you know anything about this character, then you know what will happen to this character.
I was shocked they didn't do it in the first one, but I was like, oh, they're saving it. What do you do in a sequel? The character of Ant-Man in the comics has also been Ant-Man as well. So they're saying with toys that Ant-Man is going to become Giant Man in Civil War. Like, you already had my money, but could you imagine now just like
Stompy.
He reached down. There's some concept art. What we're looking at right here is they're talking about there's a scene where Ant-Man's on a
where like Hawkman does the Ant-Man riding the bow and arrow.
Hawkman.
So we'll get to that in the next show.
The guy who helps the amazing Ant-Man do something, the other guy, bow and arrow boy, he shows up again as well.
Renner.
If we're lucky, what they're not showing us in the trailer is Hawkeye gets killed in the middle of the Civil War.
By Kylo Ren.
Oh, my Lord. Or Chewie. Either way. That's fantastic. Put them all together, man, like that Lego game.
Yeah, it's all in Disney.
There it is. Look at that toy. That's from the German catalog. Look at the giant man. So Ant-Man goes and just gets big in Civil War. If they did that, it's so smart, man.
Yep.
I thought they'd hold it for Ant-Man 2. At Ant-Man 2, they get to go micro and they get to go find,
the Wasp.
Oh, come on. It's going to be amazing. But so there, man, their toys are spoiling it. We know something cool is about to happen in Civil War that we didn't know otherwise.
I know. And
I'm glad I know it.
Speaking of toilers, we've also got one for Dawn of Justice.
It's a hell of a segue right there. That's right, man. The toilers have even affected the DC universe. It's not just the Marvel universe.
Everybody gets a piece.
They're the what is the movie called?
The Dawn of Justice.
BVS, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, which is coming in all over your face, neck, and chest in March. This show is called Fat Man on Batman, so obviously we're very excited about the prospect. I know a little bit. But I haven't seen the movie yet, but I hope to very soon. But there's a special coming up Mark, this CW special. They're doing 2 half hours on January 19th. First half hour is a look at Legends of Tomorrow, a fantastic new show that they've done, and me and Mark will be talking about that.
We saw it.
Yeah.
What?
Boy, do we see the shit out of it. It's amazing. Tune in like in a couple weeks. But that half hour is all about that, behind the scenes and stuff. Second half hour, they're doing this thing it's crazy. It's called, I don't know what it's officially called, but essentially it's a DC Universe movie special. So they're going
smart.
right? So they're like, we're
Super
starting our
smart.
movie universe. So let's put something on TV for like my mom, who's just like, what? Batman's fighting Superman? I thought they were super friends. So there's this like primer that kind of shows you this is Batman v Superman. We're introducing Wonder Woman for the first time. Here's some footage of Wonder Woman, exclusive footage they're going to show.
Nice.
Exclusive footage, Batman v Superman, behind the scenes stuff. And then the whole thing ends with the world premiere of the Suicide Squad trailer, the second Suicide Squad trailer, really the first official one, because the San Diego Comic-Con one got forced out.
Right.
This is the first official one, which I've seen, and it's phenomenal. So to kick open the doors of their movie universe, they did this thing where like, we're going to take a half hour of TV time because we own a network.
We got one of those.
And we got an audience that's tuned into like heroes and shit like that. But it reminded me, go to Two Shot. It reminded me of like when I was a kid, and this wasn't, it was in the 90s, so I wasn't that much of a kid. But when Batman Returns came out, they did a special on TV. It was called The Cat, the Bat, and the Penguin. And it was a behind the scenes special where they introduced the characters and like behind the scenes footage and clips of the trailer. But I remember it was hosted by Robert Urich, which
Because of course.
Spencer for Hire, who had nothing to do with that movie. Like I remember watching it and going like, I wonder if Bob Urich pops up as a cop or something.
No.
He had nothing to do with it. They just got
the
the
most
host
recognizable person on television.
who was willing to do it.
Yes.
Years later, dude, I am Bob Urich. Like I was sitting there hosting this show about movies I had nothing to do with, and I'm like, God damn it, I'm the new Bob Urich.
So
man.
does that make me Hawk?
Spencer Fire returns in 2016. Spencer Hawk, man. And then when my show, when I'm done, A Man Called Hawk.
Hawk.
It's gonna be amazing. That's some deep cuts if you used to watch TV.
If you know anything about ABC.
Oh my Lord.
Mid 80s.
That was such a good pull. So right now, shit getting spoiled left and right, man.
Yes.
Even includes Batman v Superman, a toy. Mark.
What?
Yes.
What?
Has once again spoiled everybody's good time.
Fucking toys.
Mattel Toys have spoilers for Lex Luthor and Batman. Now, let's look at this and see if they are spoilers. Throw this picture up, gentlemen. Right there seem to indicate that Batman, who looks like he does in the movie posters, Superman, who looks like he does in the movie posters and the artwork we've seen in the trailer, will fight a Lex Luthor that's dressed in not just a battle armor, but purple and green that hones back to the old bald Lex Luthor suit from like the Super Friends and stuff. There's a better shot of it. Now, let's be fair. That Batman, he doesn't appear exactly like that in the movie.
A little too blue.
And Superman, like, you know, he doesn't have like winter variants. The only variant Superman costume has at this point is underwear on the outside or underwear on the inside.
Bikini briefs.
So could be a thong. So this middle thing, this Lex Luthor armor, that could be a spoiler. Or it also could be absolutely nothing.
It could just be that selling a Jesse Eisenberg doll isn't going to move. So we got to doll up Luthor in some fashion.
So like, how do we move this? Isn't this a Mark Zuckerberg figure? They're like, give him battle armor. Like, what about Wonder Woman? Like, don't make that figure. What are you, crazy?
Come on.
They're not even making Rays. Like, don't.
And that movie, did you see what it made?
And they made a lot of money. Like, we can only dream.
Nobody wants those.
It is, I don't know if that's a spoiler. Because we've seen when they do movie figures, sometimes they're like this, and it had nothing to do with the movie.
Totally. Like, we have to figure out a way to get, an 11-year-old boy to want to buy a Luthor figure. How else do you do that? Besides, like, well, he's got his special collectible Keds on and his super awesome straggly hair. So.
Yeah, you don't want to try the approach of like, well, he's really going for it this time, kids. Like, Eisenberg's reaching deep to find his inner Luthor. So he always gives. And then this time, his performance, he's going all the way. Kids like, put him in armor. Like, all right.
I just want the throwback Gene Hackman doll. No, that's what I want.
Because you can put him in armor as well.
Oh, I want Otis. If somebody makes me an Otis doll, I will buy that happily.
You know what I'm saying? A Ned Beatty, because then you don't even have to just play Superman. You could play Deliverance as well, and you can make him squeal like a pig and whatnot. And kneel before Zod and squeal like a pig.
As long as when you pull the ring on his back, he plays the Luthor. Oh, Mr. Luthor.
No, if you pull the string, you pull his string, it's got to be. And then he's down on the floor. So there's another image. Let's look at this other image real quick, man. The another potential spoiler figure.
Ah, yes.
This is saying that Batman has kryptonite gauntlets. So in order to fight Superman, he puts on some gold, emerald kryptonite gloves. Now, is that a spoiler? Because look, he's wearing an outfit we know for a fact he's never going to wear in that movie.
It's Studio 54. Batman.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's Fabulous Man right there.
Gauntlet Assault.
It's really Beige Man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
Burnt Sienna Man.
Doesn't necessarily burnt sienna. Doesn't really mean that happens in the movie. Doesn't mean, but if he's fighting Superman, I'm sure kryptonite's involved somewhere.
Right. I mean, you see some kryptonite in that first trailer.
Lex
you see
Luthor.
you see the glow of green.
So maybe Batman makes gloves out of it.
It cost him a fortune.
One kryptonite bullet, Superman's done. Mark Millar told me that years ago. He was just like, you know why Superman's difficult to write? And I was like, why? He was just like, one kryptonite bullet and you never have to tell the story again. He's too powerful and he's too weak at the same time.
Huh.
Interesting concept.
Well done.
He's a smart writer. Very successful too.
I know. He does things.
I remember at the time thinking, what do you know? Where are you going to go in life? Now look at him.
Yeah,
Called up the other day. I was like, can I work on a Kingsman? He's like, fuck off, mate. Hung up the fucking
Fuck off, fuck you.
I was like, all right, peace be with you, Mark Moore. All right, man. So toy people.
Yes.
Keep it in your pants. Stop with the toilers. Copyright Kevin Mark.
Toilers.
Stop with them toilers. Quit playing them mind games.
Yeah. Hey, do you know who showed up on Gotham?
Tell me.
Well, according to some pictures from the set, Pee Wee Herman.
Get out of here.
Paul Rubens.
I know you are, but what am I? Paul Rubens showing up to play, I would only imagine, Penguin's father.
Yes.
Which he played once before in?
Ooh, Batman the Animated Series?
No, Batman Returns.
Shut up.
Remember Batman Returns?
I blocked out so much of that from our commentary track.
That's true. If you ever want to listen to the commentary track we did for Batman Returns, nobody asked for it, but boy, is it fun.
Yes.
You can't believe this was a kid's movie. They had a Happy Meal associated with this film.
The saddest
In the
meal
very
ever.
beginning, Paul Rubens and the girl who was the waitress in Pee-wee's Big Adventure in the dinosaur head, they play Oswald Cobblepot's parents. And they, put them in the basket and send them down the river. So years later, they're doing stealing a little bit out of the Berlanti playbook by being like, hey, this guy.
We had that guy before. He's coming back again.
It's smart and look how easy it is. And I'm sure Paul Rubens is happy. And I'm sure we got something to talk about. Us happy. People who are like, hey, I know what that is. Makes them feel smart. This is good. Everybody wins.
Nobody
loses. Like this. Nobody loses. So that's kind of cute. Let's talk about other casting things. Man.
Yes, let's do that.
We watch the Berlanti universe, of course, him and I. And you should too if you're not. If you're especially
really.
Go to Two Shot. Don't be a dick.
No.
Watch The Flash at least. Heavens. Go watch me cry over The Flash. It'll make you watch The Flash.
Don't be stupid. Be a smarty.
Yeah.
Come and join Berlanti's party.
Stealing from the best.
If you have to.
Reward. Yes. Smart. In this space, nobody steals from no books. So that was
It's
a good
homages.
move. Bust some Robin Hood Men in Tights as well. Flash is a wonderful show if you're not watching it. And this season, they ripped open the asshole of Earth 2 so they could throw any character at us and it doesn't mean anything. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, God.
So they could take, King Shark showed up and then they were like, Earth 2. Everything's Earth 2. You just be like, if it don't make sense, Earth 2. So they promised, they gave us a vision at the end of the season finale of first season of Flash. He saw Killer Frost.
Yes.
Killer Frost is coming, and there she is. These are stolen shots, I think, from online.
From Canada Graphs.
Canada Graphs stole it. We stole this because they shoot that up in Vancouver. There she is, man.
Awesome.
There's it was Caitlin Snow as Killer Frost.
So good.
Now we knew that was coming because we saw that image and they talked about it. She talked about it in some interviews, I think. What we didn't know, they had Firestorm originally played by Martin Stein, who was played by
Victor Garber.
Victor Garber. And then originally it was Robbie Amell, who's Arrow's cousin, Stephen Amell. He was playing Ronnie Raymond, who was half of Firestorm. He got, spoilers, killed. given his life. All of us.
Demised.
Fucking selfish pigs. But then Martin Stein was like, I need a new boy. And he went and found a youngster.
Hey, found a black guy.
And he did.
Which is what you do.
Jackson, I think his name
I think
is.
so.
I'm not as familiar with the character. But regardless, now that's who's on Legends of Tomorrow as Firestorm. In Earth 2, though, Firestorm doesn't have to be who Firestorm here is in Earth 1.
Also doesn't have to be nice.
Could be a bad guy.
Yeah.
Excellent. Throw up that artwork. Guess what this is right there? That is a sneak peek at Deathstorm.
Deathstorm.
And that's what the real Deathstorm looks like, man. The Darkest Night miniseries that
Looks like he's wearing a skirt.
a little bit, right? Crossed over all the DC books a few years back. They zombified everybody. Everybody was dead. Everybody had a dead version of themselves, kind of like Marvel Zombies, but more interesting. And that was their idea of like, yeah, man, the anti-Firestorm be Deathstorm. Deathstorm is coming, dude.
Wow.
And on Earth 2, spoilers, him and Caitlin are a couple. So Killer Frost and Deathstorm are still together
That's so
and in
sweet.
love. It's pretty damn impressive, man. That, and I guess the last bit of casting news we could talk about, of course, is on Supergirl.
Yeah.
They've cast, I forget what's his name is, Toy Man, but we got a picture. That's more important. Look at him. That's the Toy Man right there. Which one? The older guy.
Yeah.
I love that actor. Somebody tell me that actor's name.
Oh, dude.
He was in The Boys of St. Vincent. He was also the dude who was like Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise in the restaurant when it broke the fish tank with the gum and all the.
Oh, right.
He's that guy.
That guy.
He's I like that actor
I'm
a bit.
blanking on his name.
I mean, listen to us. We're such what broadcasters
Yes.
were like. You know that guy? Good. That guy good.
Let's go to the videotape.
He's playing Toy Man, and that's a get for that show. Just like Victor Garber is a get for
I know.
for Arrow, Flash, and now Legends.
Like
of
it feels
Tomorrow.
like that's the sort of thing that started, I think, with Battlestar, when they were like, you know what? Let's get some big shiny fucking actors to be in this. Like these big, amazing, like stage veterans and screen veterans and Emmy nominees will absolutely help sell what could be something ridiculous.
Right.
So you get your fucking Victor Garbers.
And all these people presumably have children, nieces, nephews, children somewhere in their lives where they're like, hey, it's a couple weeks work. I'll go do it.
Henry Czerny.
Henry Czerny. That's it, man. I believe he's a Canadian actor, man. He's so damn good. He's a get for them as Toy Man.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you would have told him 20 years ago, you're going to play Toy Man, he'd be like, you're out of your
I think he's in
mind.
Clear and Present Danger also.
Yes,
He goes way
bitch.
back.
He was in he had a career like mine. It was all about the 90s. And then, you didn't see him for a while, but now he's back. This Toy Man. He never went anywhere, man. But he's always worked consistently. But there's a couple movies where he was that guy
Like
who's always like,
slimy bureaucrat.
I'm going to have to. And you didn't know if he was the bad guy or the badder guy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Like he was always like the lesser of two evils until he became the evil.
Maybe that's why he was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I
want to be a
And he just
hero.
stopped. Yeah, he's like, when will I be the hero? Well, he's back and he's playing Toy Man, man. Henry Czerny, what a good actor. Crazy, dude. If you had told me like 20 years ago, the dude from The Boys of St. Vincent, which is amazing. If you've never seen The Boy, I mean, it's sad, it's depressing. It's about kids getting molested in Canada. Listen to me. I'm like, you got to see it. Oh my God, it's so hot.
Do you want a good time? You should watch this movie. The best time.
It is. It's a wonderful piece of acting and gripping drama and stuff, and heartbreaking at the same time. And it was like balls to the wall Canadian TV before like America was touching the subject matter and stuff. Pun intended. But
Best
shouldn't
pun.
be. Yeah, horrible, dark pun. Deathstorm, dark is what I'm talking about. But it's the fact that it's happening.
God damn it, man. Like there's white Martians on that show.
Yeah.
There's
They got
the
Toy
Martian
Man. They got White
Toy-
Martians. John Jones and her.
Mhm.
There's a episode coming up called "Strange Visitor from Another Planet," which is normally referred to Superman, of course, but it refers to her, of course. But it also refers to the Martian Manhunter. They're gonna because they haven't met yet, technically, right? Like she knows the dude, but she doesn't know that he's the Martian Manhunter.
No.
So
Howard
she'll get to
doesn't.
team up with the Martian Manhunter and still not know it's that Hank Henshaw. Right?
Aw.
It's kind of, it's kind of cool. They write
love that.
themselves. It's clever. I would do
is.
something where I'm like, they talk about Star Wars and pussy, and then the show would be canceled. But these cats are like, no, you thread the needle. You set things up. You
What's
see
anal like on Mars?
All right. I would never go that far.
Sorry.
Because who knows?
a line too
Who
far.
knows what anal's like on Mars? Let's leave them with that. Think about it.
Harmonies.
Could be fun. Could be better than it is here on Earth. Should be. Christ. Anal on Mars got to be better. Anything's better than anal on Earth. I'll tell you that right now. Ouch.
The Martian
Yeah.
sequel.
Like, how'd he get up there? He muttered something about anything's got to be better than anal on Earth. Went right to Mars.
How do you like them anals?
Joke of the night. Unbelievable. Great pull. That's all the news we got for you right now, man. We're going to jump off. We're going to come back in a couple days and hit you with more news, more kind of fun stuff. But for now, man, that's all we got. You got anything?
I got nothing, man.
There it is. Star Wars, Civil War, Dawn of Justice.
Dead storms.
Isn't it crazy? Like, you just say these words and people are like,
There it is. I think it moved.
Stock hard. Oh,
Yeah, it
yeah.
did.
It's a great time to be alive, kids.
Ooh.
Not because of freedoms and stuff like that, because we're seeing the characters we love. Finally done right. There's going to be a giant man in a movie.
Fuck.
That makes me happy. I got nothing to do with it, but I feel proud for some reason, right?
Yes. As we should. We did this. We did this.
We
You and I.
did,
We
Mark.
did this.
There it is. We're Bob Urich.
You're Bob Urich. I'm Avery Brooks. We'll see you guys next week.